there's like a temple of Leviathan underneath Waterdeep in Forgotten Realms lore. And because he's a Temple of Leviathan cleric, like we've been able to use that story where he basically overthrows the temple and makes it his own, and it becomes he gets a thing called legal authority, which he just plays that card all the time. He's got legal authority to operate this temple, and as long as it's slavery, then he can have all the kinky sex rituals that he wants because he's got legal authority.
Because
Shut down my
Every time, because Arctic gave him a feature called Legal Authority a while ago during an awards ceremony.
Nice.
And every time he does something and the party questions him on it, he goes, "What do you mean you can't question me?" And then he links the ability in game and goes, "Because I've got legal authority."
Says it right there. It's like, I can do this, man. You can't persecute me for my religion, man.
Yeah, Paul. It's like he got a key to the city, and every time he gets in trouble, he's like pulls it out, like like
Billy, you can't do this. Oh, I'm sorry, Thane. I didn't know.
That's exactly right. Oh, I seem to have this key to the city here.
I am the law.
Thane and Whiterun over here walking around.
But yes, that's pretty much Billy's character wrapped up. So I've been trying to get him to play this because I think he'd be really good in the campaign. But yeah, he doesn't reply to messages very often.
Hey, it's okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's
I
it.
can do what I want.
How did I not see that association after all this time? That's exactly it. The Ron Swanson job.
I love the Ron Swanson one where he's in the fucking hardware store and he's like, I know more than you. When they just fucking ask him, do you need any help? I know more than you.
I think my favorite Ron Swanson maybe he's like in a diner or something, and he eventually just gets frustrated, turns to the guy, he's like, just give me all the bacon and eggs you have. And the guy turns around, he's like, no. I think what you just heard me say was bring me a lot of bacon and eggs, but what I said was bring me all the bacon and eggs you have.
My favorite's like when he's in the fucking supermarket and he's like, "What's this?" He's like, "Oh, it's all natural vegan bacon." He's like, "Oh, can I try one?" He picks it up, puts it in the bin. Please, another. Fuck, he's a good character.
All right, we're all here. Are we rolling?
We are, yes.
All right.
Hello, everyone.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone listening in the future, in particular. Yes. Welcome one more time to the Valley of Barovia, in particular the village of Kresk. Kresk is a cold place. It lies at the base of either Mount Gacchus or Balanoch. I'm not sure which one's which. It's a peaceful village, self-contained. It has all the forest that it needs growing within its walls. The people can chop down lumber and firewood as they will. Pigs and goats and sheep, chickens run quite freely through this place, packed up at night and placed inside the little huts to keep them from freezing during the frigid weather, which you guys are discovering the hard way as you wake up halfway through the night with a blanket of snow clutched over either your sleeping bags or your meager little tents. But we've come here for a reason. We came to bring Irina Kolyana to the Abbey of St. Markovia, where we hoped she might find some sanctuary. There was a pool. There was a pool of water here within Kresk, and that pool of water had some kind of enchantment on it, the nature of which we don't yet understand. But within that water, Irina had a vision, and of course Anton saw it as well. It was of a man dark of hair, strong of feature, handsome, but young. He didn't look unlike Strahd, quite similar really, but the man was in his 20s. He lacked the widow's peak, and there was no harshness in his face, only love. When Irina reached out to touch this vision, Anton violently interceded and prevented her from making contact with this supernatural phenomenon. And a phenomenon of its own then manifested in the already darkened skies, where the blackened clouds had been previously dusting the land with snow, came a tremendous blue thunderbolt which struck the pool, vaporized it, and annihilated whatever effect might have been lingering within that body of water. Since then, Irina has been catatonic. We have kept her warm. For what it's worth, we've kept her hydrated. But she has spoken not, or very little anyway. Though she doesn't seem overly troubled, just tremendously withdrawn. While that was a major concern for us, the more immediate activity which bothers us now involves grave robbery. We heard noises coming from within the settlement, and when we went to investigate, we found that the small burial yard that this place has was under assault by a pair of hideous creatures. One that looked like a half wolf and half donkey, humanoid, and the other one half lizard and half cat, both vaguely bipedal, shoddily clothed, and attempting to dig up the grave of no one less than the dead son, the last dead son of the Burgermeister, Dmitri. We had previously heard that Dmitri had a number of children, and they're all perished one by one, leaving the elderly man and his elderly wife barren and almost certain to never have children again. We did, however, prevent the grave from being exhumed. Small victories, after all. And my recollection is that we are currently alerting the Burgermeister. The party has been... Yeah, good. The party has been alerted. You may be now full of anxiety and trying to think of what to do next. Or, and I'm not suggesting anyone in particular, but you may be sleeping right through this because this isn't really your fucking problem. Either case, this is where we begin our story. Inside the walls of this paranoid, isolated, self-sufficient village, on the verge of the latest crisis. Where shall we begin?
I think we left off with just basically Anton woke everybody up, told them what happened, and said, "Who wants to go with me to talk to the Burgermeister?"
pretty sure I was gonna go as well. But not
What
before I
grave
gave.
robbers?
Like some kind of abomination things.
Did you see where they went?
Chased them up to the abbey.
I thought the only one lived up there was, the priest or whatever.
Apparently, a lot of things were up there at one point. Seems some still are.
I think we should let the Burgermeister know, and I think perhaps when we wake up in the morning, we should make our way out to that abbey.
Aye. Last thing we want is for the town to wake up and find an undug grave and us the only newcomers in town.
Mm. Good point.
I mean, unless this has happened before. If they've done it once and they're coming from the abbey, they've probably done it.
Certainly hope
This
not.
probably isn't
but-
the first time.
Well, I'll come with you, Anton. Any excuse to get out of this damn snow.
Warwick, I didn't exactly fix your crossbow, but I did make it to make something else. But I've made it so that you can have mine. And I hand him my light crossbow.
No, I don't need it, mate.
Oh.
That one I borrowed from the big mansion.
Oh, right. Well, I guess I'll just hold on to it for now then. I'll just leave it at camp. I mean,
Spare parts, I guess.
Indeed.
It's very unlikely someone's going to come out and find it in the middle of the frosty night, except perhaps a guard, but in that case, you've probably got bigger problems anyway. All right. So who does that? So who is not then going to see the Burgermeister?
Not coming?
Yeah.
I'm sitting in the camp.
Yeah, I'll sit at the camp. Can we
Yeah.
see like the grave? Like, can we see like where they were digging it up from our camp, or is it?
No, it's quite forested within these walls, and even 30, even 50 or 60 feet from you, you can't really see very well. And the grave is much further than that.
Whereabouts is the grave?
Somewhere in the middle of this sort of forested sector.
Mm,
Yeah.
probably
If you were standing at the road, you'd probably see part of the grave, but you might not even see the one that has just been dug up. You might only see some headstones. Not until you get right in there. The place is a forest. It's a young forest, and it's a perfectly cultivated forest. They've specifically chosen the sort of trees that they want to use for timber and firewood and fruit, berries. But it's a grove nonetheless.
No use worrying about it now. We're going up there anyway tomorrow, right?
I guess.
Unless someone wants to stand vigil over the grave all night.
Imagine the Burgermeister can handle that.
All right.
Roll over and go back to bed.
Done. So, those of you who are going to see the Burgermeister, you find a single guard at the door, breathing hot air onto his heavily gloved hands. He just looks so cold standing out there. But nonetheless, when he sees you, he pulls down his furry hat a little bit tighter, shakes the snow off his frosty little wispy brown beard, and holds his spear with two hands. Oh, who goes there?
Anton and Dukovic and Vort, we're the visitors in town.
And what are you doing out at night?
There was an incident at the graveyard. I need to report it, I think.
Incident at the graveyard? Someone fighting?
Two monsters came down from the abbey, I think. They were digging up a
No.
grave. I heard
No.
them. And
No. Whose grave?
the Burgermeister's son, I think.
No. He slams on the door, but doesn't open it. Wait here. and the door opens for another guard who's much warmer, standing inside, an older guy. He's drinking some sort of hot beverage. He sips, and he tells him, the grave of the Burgermeister's son has been robbed. The corpse has been taken.
I'd stop them before they got the corpse.
Oh, they stopped him before they got the corpse. Please come in. The older man with the whiter moustache offers those of you who've come to come and stand and warm yourself in the foyer.
Thank you.
They invites the other soldier in as well, on the pretense of keeping him warm, but more because there's so many of you. And so you're now standing in a it's crowded, but it's fairly large foyer, but it's crowded nonetheless with all these people and all these spears. And to save you having to repeat your story multiple times, you tell them what they need to know. They go and fetch the Burgermeister, and he's not in his bedroom. He's actually found in a sitting room, a smoking room, where he's dozed off in a rocking chair. So the old man comes out, a diminutive little guy, probably not even 5 feet tall. He might have shrunken with age, but never very big to begin with. And when he comes out, he kind of smells like tobacco ash and old stale piss. But he wanders out nonetheless with the assistance of a stick. And at more or less the same time, his wife comes down from an upper bedroom of an age only 10 or 15 years younger than him. She has a big mink coat wrapped around her shoulders. And they settle themselves down in the most comfortable chairs that they can find, and you tell them what you've seen. They don't really know how to deal with it. They're very thankful that you saved their son, but also very distraught at the fact that the event happened. This is happening all too often. The Burgermeister explains to you. They're creatures that live up in the abbey. I cannot take it anymore. We cannot leave. We cannot go anywhere. It is too many wolves. There is nowhere to run. But we do not have the strength to destroy those monsters. I fear for my village. I fear that we will be the last of this place. And why doesn't somebody help us? Why must life always be so hard? Why did they take my son? Why did he die? Why must the father live to bury all of his children? Is there any way you can bring my son back?
Not in a permanent way or in a way that you'd like, I don't think. But if you have done us a good turn, my lord, you let us inside your walled city when you had little good reason to. In turn, I'd like to offer my group's assistance to you.
If monsters
You've business
occupy
with-
the Abbey, and the Abbey is a sacred place dedicated to the sun, then I believe it my duty to go there and, well, deal with the problem.
Cleanse it.
His wife is reluctant. If you do this, then all that will happen is you will make them angry, and they will descend upon our farmsteads and homes, and there will be a battle, and the monsters will eat so many of our people that the village will die anyway. This cannot be done. There cannot be violence. The Burgermeister looks between you guys with the violent solution and his wife, saying that if we start provoking these creatures, then it's going to lead to the slaughter of the innocent, and he just wants his son back, you know? Like,
When did your
none
son?
of this.
When did he pass?
4 days ago, my child died of a terrible fever. And all the wise women tried to cure it, but he had infection in the lungs, coughing up all sorts of foul humors. And he was the last of my children.
I'm afraid I'm not strong enough to do anything like that. At least not yet. I would if I could, but right now I can't. And I'm sorry. But if it means anything, I'll do what I can with my friends here.
Put guards on the graves, he says to his soldiers. Not tonight and every night. We must always have a man stationed there, even in the cold. What will you do? You will. What do you hope to do?
My instinct is to charge up to that abbey and begin slaughtering every creature I see, but if you're worried about backlash on the town, we could perhaps attempt something more diplomatic, if you wish.
I shall leave it in your hands. I have nothing left to live for. You must be the ones to decide the future of Kresk. Strangers, the power is in your hands. Maybe you can settle here. Maybe you will like it so much that you can make this home your own. I could not defend my people except to build the walls. I only have one man for every 300 feet of my wall. I cannot stop so much as a Vistani, let alone an army of wolves that walk as men, or a necromancer with a legion of the dead. If these creatures were to ever arrive, it would be our final hour. We cannot even fight off these goblins that come and plunder our graves. Help us. Do something. I do not know what the solution is, but you must find it. You are seeking something, no? Go and find what you seek, and use it to save the lives of our people.
We'll do everything we can, Burgermeister. I swear to you that.
And when it is done, I shall use it in my power to raise you to counts.
I'm not sure I'd want to be a count of, well, not this town, but these lands.
He looks at each of you in turn. Is there any of you that even has the briefest thought that you might want to, that you might be able to do a better job than Strahd?
Nah, being count means I have to deal with more people, and that just
I'm
sounds like a
sleeping.
bother.
Yeah, Illinois is not about that.
Strip mine the whole country.
Trying to do my research.
I miss Strahd.
I
Put it
liked it
down.
when there were still forests. I liked it more.
All
It's
these
around the
displaced
state.
werewolves. Goes from Curse of Strahd to Avatar in like one game session.
Welcome to my mining colony.
Everyone goes into slave labor.
He finds beds for those of you who came into his home, and spends the night basically thinking and dozing and smoking. If you have any more questions for him, he's here for you. But other than that, he'll find you beds in his house. All right. Those of you who spent the night inside are very warm when you wake up in the morning. Those of you who didn't are very cold. Did we do those Constitution saves last game?
We did.
Dead.
Thought so, yeah. All right. Excellent. So you wake up and you are so frigid and frozen. But shortly after, you'll rendezvous with the much heartier, well-fed.
Hey, I was well
Sure.
fed. I had eggs.
Good point.
When we rendezvous, I am going
Yeah.
to cast Aid, and I'm going to aid myself, Sven, and Vorig.
All right.
Ooh, +5?
Yeah, that's right.
Cool, yeah.
Kind of just pat you both on the shoulder. And today's a big day. Go up to that abbey, and who knows what we'll find.
Probably a fucking bunch of, hubbard together people.
If it's all right with everybody, I think the burgomaster's wife raised a legitimate concern that if we should fail for any reason here, there's a good chance that there will be backlash on the town. So if it's all right with everybody, I'd like to, provided there's a chance, attempt to approach this diplomatically first, and if not, then we kill everything we see. Does that sound agreeable?
I will give them a chance, but the fact that they are on sanctified ground and grave robbing, to me, tells me that if this doesn't work, then the light of the sun shall shine again in that hallway, and we will cleanse it of whatever is in there.
But, the town's doomed anyway when he dies, right?
Presumably they'll be able to elect a new leader. It'll be the end of his line, but
Maybe, but, I think
I believe he
Strahd's
did
a little
mention.
bit old-fashioned. That the
True, I do believe he
burgomaster's running Barovia, and he's honored, some, thing with the Vistani, and that's why they can come and go.
True. Yeah, I just remembered actually out of character. I'm not sure when he mentioned it last game, but he said something about if he dies, Strahd will send someone to replace him.
Yeah.
But I'm not really sure what we can do about that, short of resurrecting his son, which I certainly don't believe Elenway is capable of.
Not yet.
unless-
No.
Last.
I need more time. And I'm afraid, in the time that it'll take for me to be able to do something like that, it'll be too far gone. Unfortunately.
I will, might as well go up on there then, unless we've got other things to do.
No, let's go.
Djukovic, do I still have that +1 AC from you?
No, I took that
Okay.
off last night.
I will unclick it then.
All right. So the party stands at the edge of an orchard that borders on being a forest. You're on a switchback trail that winds to the north, then to the south, and to the north again, and will eventually lead to the main front gates of this abbey, which consists predominantly of two buildings surrounded by a stone wall. Is that what you intend to do?
Sorry, so just like walk through the front gate, basically.
Yeah, that's it. Like follow this trail. It's it's going to be easiest on your legs and on your knees. It's the longest way to do it, but it's the wheelchair access.
We don't see like guards or anything on the walls, right?
Make a perception checks. If you're willing to take 10 minutes, you can have advantage.
Yeah, why not? Like Anton's gonna take a good long gander at the place before he tries to march out.
While you
He has
wait.
exhaustion though.
Yeah.
So
You're exhausted, are you, from the cold?
From not sleeping all night.
From not sleeping, of course, yeah. You didn't sleep when you went to the Burgermeister's house? He gave you
No.
All right, no worries. Nice, comfortable bed. But you just sat up
He
in
didn't
the...
have anything to drink.
Didn't even use it.
Good call. Good call.
You didn't ask the Burgermeister?
He mentioned the town had a very bad booze shortage and then stole my wineskin.
Stole,
Oh, that's right, yeah.
stole the only flask of wine we had. That was the price of peace.
It's a cruel world.
Well, it was better than getting eaten by wolves in the night, so.
During the period while you're trying to get a good feel for the numbers, there doesn't seem to be many, but during that 10-minute period, the bells ring out, the church bells, loud and clear. Dun 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 dun. And when they do, something absolutely erupts in. Is it joy? Is it terror? Is it horror? Is it awe? Maybe it's all of them, but it's a cacophony of voices. If you've ever been to an animal shelter, right? And suddenly the dogs just start barking, it's like that.
Can I get a gauge on numbers from that? Like the number of loud noises, or not really?
Absolutely. Make an insight check.
No.
It's so many that you just can't.
Okay. Unless we know it's not like 2.
It's more than 2.
That's good enough for me.
Less than 100.
Sounds like a madhouse.
Do I have any idea as to what the significance of the bells may have been at all? Like, is it like, would it have been like, just like a morning bell, something to do with midday, anything like that?
So maybe make a religion check. Yeah, definitely.
Sure.
DC 10 will tell you something. 19, yeah. Yeah, it would. You would expect it to be a call to prayer, right? It could be an alarm clock, but that's probably unnecessary. More like a call to prayer. Who or whatever made that noise, those noises, they were certainly in a kind of rapture when they responded. But it mostly reminded you of not a religious event at all, but it was mostly reminiscent, particularly to Anton, of ringing the bell at the end of the school day. That explosion of joy, of relief. The kids knew it was coming, but it's here now. And they just explode into rapture. Nothing's better than the school bell. All right. So we're winding our way up. We have checked it I haven't given you the information on the walls. There are no one on the walls. You think you spot some individuals in one or two of the guard towers. You think you spot one person in one guard house and maybe another person in another, but there is essentially no guards at all on the walls.
Place definitely ain't empty, but I don't like this place.
Well, it
fact,
sounded more
I
and
hate
more
it.
like the the Taroka reading.
That doesn't make me feel better knowing that we have to go in there.
Means we might get something out of it.
Which one's the sickness and madness?
Aye.
That's what that
Right.
place sounds like, and from the Burgermeister told me about what happened here, it certainly fits.
Great. I guess that's the place we have to go.
Regardless
Oh,
of
wait,
the
the front
fact,
gates? Oh, sorry.
it's still a church, and it's still a holy place. We're going to be safe.
Anton looks and gives an incredibly disbelieving look.
I give
I just got like, really?
I give a reassuring but forced smile.
I have as much faith, well, perhaps not as much faith in the sun as you, Enway, but even I haven't felt much of his touch here.
I'm sure we all will. I have faith. In all of us and the sun. So, we're going to be fine.
Your faith is good, but in this place, hey, we'll see. We shall see.
I'll bring the holy symbol out and I'll have it around my neck, visible, as opposed to tucked away.
All right. The world seems just a little bit brighter with that great golden medallion hanging from your neck.
Reverse sunglasses.
So yeah, the two guards that you do see are up here at the main gate. The walls are probably about 15 feet high, maybe a little bit higher. Too difficult for the average person to climb, but no challenge for a professional thief. And the whole thing sits on a rather steep escarpment. I'm not sure if you can see these numbers. No, you can't, so I'll bring them up. That gives you an idea of the topography. Where the road begins is at a distance of about 400 feet above sea level, whereas the highest part of the abbey is actually 1,000 feet above sea level. So the rise is quite steep, which is exactly why the switchback trail is so long.
We're 400 feet above the town.
Mm.
That is quite a fall.
600 feet actually. Yeah, it's where you are. Yeah. That's right. You're
The
Yeah,
town
yeah.
is at
Town's
plus
at 300.
300,
Yeah,
and
so
then
you better.
the
Yeah.
top of the abbey's 700.
Right. So you are right. Yeah.
Bit of a cliff.
It is. It's quite a steep cliff, and
Is
is
the trail itself like perilous, or is it like well carved, maintained?
It's not maintained, but it is well carved, and it's long enough that the angle is relatively gentle.
Okay.
You might be prone to, but this weather's pretty good. You might want to make a survival check or some sort of history check. But at a glance, you wouldn't want to come up here in a thunderstorm. If there was an earthquake, you'd be in a lot of trouble. But
Any sort of inclement weather.
yeah. But light snow, such as we've got, well, probably not going to get much better than this.
Alright, let's climb the slopes then.
You do it with the struggle of good exercise. But it's only less than 1,000 feet from bottom to the top. And then you find yourself approaching this guardhouse where a pair of lazy guards are waiting for you with a kind of a look of apprehension that borders on somewhere between fear and mild hatred. But these, like when you go to visit a house with a dog that's not familiar with you, they kind of snarl and hold their ground, but but that's mostly out of fear as much as it is out of territoriality. So here we are, over here. The angle on this map is a little bit different. This is actually the north where you're standing. So just to give a bit of an indication. The two people that maintain look something like this.
As soon as Anton sees them, he curses and says, "Those are grave robbers."
Does the guy have his shovel with him?
Conspicuously,
I believe he left
no.
it behind.
Yeah.
He's behind him.
You have his shovel there.
I put a crossbow bolt in his ass, I think.
Does he have a bandage on his ass?
Nothing you can see yet. But the road from the village climbs above the mist which encompasses the village and the walls, to the wide ledge on which the abbey is perched. There's a light dusting of snow covering the trees and the rocky earth. The gravel road passes between two small stone outbuildings, either side of which stretches a 5-foot high, 3-foot thick wall of jumbled stones held together with mortar. Blocking the road are iron gates attached to the outbuildings by rusty hinges. They appear to be unlocked, and when you look through the gates, you can see the stone abbey, which is starting to quieten down now after the rucor before. It's there's still a bit of noise going on, but it's pretty quiet. The two wings of the abbey are joined by a 15-foot high curtain wall, which you would be able to walk between the two buildings along that curtain wall. There is a belfry, a religious building, which protrudes from the rooftop of the centre north wing. It also has a chimney, which is currently billowing grey smoke. Yeah, and as you know, there's these two guards there. They both look like hideous creatures. One of them is growling at you, the one with the wolf snout, and the other one is kind of hiding her face underneath her cloak, but keeping an eye on you.
They're tokens. I can't see where they're at.
Oh, right. You probably can't see them because they're just the way the dynamic lighting works. I'll cut the dynamic lighting off the guardhouse. If that's... Yeah, I can do that. Cool.
Boing.
So they're sort of looking over the ledge of this guardhouse, yeah.
Anton's going to look up towards them and use... Ooh.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so he's gonna use that on them. And say, hello.
Hello. Yeah.
We've come to speak with whoever's in charge of this abbey.
You want to speak to the abbot?
I guess.
We should take them to the abbot. What if the abbot doesn't want to speak to them? What if he does? Are you sure you need to speak to the abbot?
Yes.
Very.
You look like trespassers.
We're not trespassing anywhere.
All right. Well, we'll take you to see the abbot. Come with us.
Can I insight check them?
Yeah, absolutely. You have disadvantage because they're freaks.
Friendly fellows.
They look confused. They look frightened. And they, on one hand, they don't have a lot of choice. You know, you're probably going to kill them if they say no. On the other hand, well, why not? I mean, they said that they want to go and see the abbot. Maybe the abbot wants to see them. In short, they appear to be very stupid and not particularly good at guarding. More like alarms than actual guards.
Alright. Anton turns and gives a very uneasy look to the rest of the group and says, do we actually want to follow them?
Well, this is
You're
the
the one that
this
said
is
it,
the
mate.
diplomatic solution, isn't it?
I suppose, but this place still gives me a bad feeling. I thought there were a lot less of them.
Stop looking at me. Yeah.
Which one of them says that?
The cat-like, lizard-like one that brays a bit. The bounding one, otherwise, the wolfy thing, donkey. Yeah, he bounds along quite merrily, quite happily. But she hides her face from you and seems to be quite ashamed. While he is oblivious to the concept of shame.
We pass through. Can I look inside the windows?
Yeah. The or more to the point, no. Rather, the windows are stained glass, and so they're beautiful windows, but almost entirely opaque.
Alright. Like
Like church.
Church, that's right.
Yeah.
Does the stained glass depict anything?
Yeah, it does actually. Make a religion check.
Da-na-na-na. Oh, did they just suddenly squash and then expand?
Yeah, they did. That was just my poor use of the token. Trying to move to it once, and yeah.
The nature of their abomination.
Exactly. It's mutation. Alenway, you spot images of classical angels, women with wings and halos, coming to the rescue of people in battle situations, golden suns. It's quite clearly a solar monastery of some sort. All right. Okay. Cool. So the path that you're following leads up towards the north, and far towards the north you can see some gardens, some beautifully gardens that might have once been beautiful, but have now fallen into complete disarray, disrepair, poor cultivation, and how these creatures survive on such meager grounds is quite a mystery. But that probably only fills your mind for a brief moment, because you've come now to the main doors. It's a 15-foot high curtain wall joining the abbey's two wings. Behind the battlements, you can see two guards standing at attention, but their features are obscured by fog. Below them, set into the wall, is a pair of 10-foot tall wooden doors reinforced with bands of steel. And to the right of these doors, mounted on the wall, is a tarnished copper plaque.
Can I make out the language?
You can. The plaque bears the abbey's name, which is the Abbey of St. Markovia. And under that are the following words: "May her light cure all illness."
There's no Saint Markovia in our I guess in our equivalent, right, back home in Slumberhaven. There's obviously Nautica, but there was no Markovia, was there?
Make a religion check.
Uh-oh.
I'm
No.
going to use my inspiration.
Yeah, absolutely.
Bust that out.
Inspiration.
You're confident that there was absolutely not. I
Yeah.
mean, confident as you can be.
Sure.
Yeah. But you were never a particularly scholastic person, so.
Mm.
That garden up there, is it snowy?
It's quite snowy.
Oh boy.
Anton elbows Dukovich and like jerks his head towards the garden when the two creatures aren't looking.
He gives just a quick 2 blinks.
It's not just that.
Yes.
Illness. Madness.
I guess I'm just gonna stand where I'm standing. Wait and wait.
Yeah. Are they taking us towards the garden or towards this doorway?
Towards the gate. Give me a hand, she says, and the dog-like one bounds over, and together they push open the rather heavy doors. Right this way, And with the doors open, you can now see that the guards are not guards at all, but rather scarecrows, propped up scarecrows wearing rusty chain shirts and clutching useless spears.
Oh.
You see within a foggy courtyard. It's the thick fog swirls through the courtyard as if eager to escape. The courtyard is surrounded by a 15-foot high curtain wall on which stand several guards with their backs to you. Well, they're not guards. They're actually scarecrows. Wooden doors to the north and east lead into the abbey's 2 wings. In the centre of the courtyard is a stone well fitted with an iron winch, to which a rope and bucket are attached. Along the perimeter, tucked under the overhanging wall, are several stone sheds with padlocked wooden doors, as well as 3 shallow alcoves that contain wooden troughs. 2 wooden posts pounded into the rocky earth have iron rings bolted to them, and they are chained to one of these little posts with the iron bolt and ring is a small humanoid. It's got bat-like wings, it's got spider mandibles, and as soon as it sees you, it starts to try to fly away, but it's chained to the fucking ground, so it's not going anywhere. But it's making an awful racket and screaming and squealing and panicking, and its panic set off squeals and screams and panic from within the sheds that just a cacophony, and they set off even more screams to the north. So you've got this guy screaming over here. When he screams or she screams, these 3 boxes start screaming. When they have noise from up in this building, and it doesn't really calm down, not immediately anyway.
Anton's going to cover his ears, and I presume this is the same racket we heard earlier, right?
It is. All right, this way,
Yeah, Anton's going to kind of be several feet back when they open this door, just in case.
Is everyone following them, or are you poking around in the garden sheds, tossing a lucky coin into the well, feeding the bat creature?
I mean, the scream's kind of scared. I think they're probably scared. Dukovich, he's kind of on edge. He's going to be following mostly.
This place is no fucking church. It's cursed.
That we can agree on.
What made you think that?
Out of curiosity, does our religion have any equivalent of crossing yourself?
Yeah, let's assume that it does. You
Getting
can
a
make that.
10?
Yeah, Anton does that.
Sending yourself?
You need to
Likewise.
spread your arms at about a 15-degree angle on each side of your head, with your feet and legs straight and your back arched. You need to raise your chin by about 45 degrees and declare praise the sun.
Pretty much it.
You have to hold a flashlight in your mouth and turn it on.
You're not allowed to do it with people also like miming out the words MCA after
I always
you.
thought you were doing the YMCA. Yeah.
No,
That's the
Dark
Dark
Souls.
Souls.
Praise the
Yeah.
sun.
Right.
But it also works.
Yeah, we start busting out the YMCA's. Fuck.
He's casting a spell.
Now I want to do that.
The
Just does
courtyard.
shitty dance moves with spell components.
Good idea. The courtyard and the sheds to the north, to the south, and the main abbey to the north, they all seem to quieten down when gentle-sounding music begins to trickle down from above, played from a stringed instrument by some unseen master. And this pleasant, divine melody floats down through the windows, and at that point, the mutants that you were with, the half men, they open the door, and those of you who can see into it will see on the ground floor, you see a large 50-foot square room with arched leaded windows that you were looking in from the outside of. There's a cauldron sitting on an iron rack above a fire and a hearth, and above the fireplace hangs a mantle. Above the fireplace mantle hangs a golden disc engraved with the symbol of the sun, a huge shield made of pure gold. It would seem to be in the form of the sun. In one corner, there's a wooden staircase climbing to the upper level, and in the other corner, there's a stone staircase which descends down into the darkness. There are several chairs surrounding a wooden table, stretches nearly the length of the room. Wooden dishware, golden candelabras are neatly arranged on the table. And standing behind that table is a young woman, her skin alabaster white, and she's dressed in a torn and soiled red gown. Her auburn hair neatly bundled so as not to touch those soft shoulders, and she seems lost in her own thoughts. She's obviously suffered some grave injury in the past, for which she's received stitches by some rather skilled surgeon that has left the seams almost unseen across her face and her arms and her hands. There is also a exceedingly handsome young man in a brown monk's robe, and that gloriously beautiful man gently takes the woman by her hand. There's a painted wooden holy symbol of the sun hanging from a simple chain around his neck. And when you see this man move as he tries to teach this woman to dance, his motion is saintly. There is another creature in the room. And although you probably cannot see him immediately from the angle where you are standing, you can already hear his music. Glorious. The individual that plays such a divine melody has a face that does not match.
My.
Oh boy.
I thought it was gonna be Strahd on the piano there for a second. Not gonna lie. Wait, was he playing the same song Strahd was playing?
I think
Perhaps
Strahd
he
was playing an organ.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could be the
The
same
description.
thing.
I thought that's what you meant. So you said we recognized it from somewhere? Or...
You can hear music coming from outside, like someone played stringed instrument, and the musician is you'll soon realize is this fella.
Okay, my bad. I misheard that.
No worries.
Anton's gonna first of all palm that mirror he bought, and like not trying to be obvious about it, take a peek into it and see if he can see the well, either the male or the woman.
Interesting tactic. When you look in the mirror, you can see the woman clearly enough, and you notice how ungainly her gait is, how unsteady, and as if she's only just learning to walk again after some terrible injury. But the man, if he looked divine with your own eyes, when you see him through the mirror, that holiness is revealed to you, for a halo can be seen above his head.
He leans over to Elenway and says, I don't think he's a vampire, but there's something up with him.
I don't like this one bit at all, Anton.
Yeah, and he kind of holds the mirror over and lets her look into it.
Like a blazing sun, that halo.
Hello, Mr. Abbott.
Hello, welcome to the Abbey of St. Markovia. Abbey of St. Markovia. These words are echoed by the creature in the corner.
I wish to cast Fireball.
Welcome, strangers from another land. Welcome to the Abbey of St. Markovia. The Abbey of St. Markovia.
Thanks.
Vasilia, we have guests. The woman turns to you automatically, rigidly, uncomfortably, her neck at an odd angle, and it seems to adjust itself with a vibration. She clutches the sides of her beautiful dress and raises them while squatting in what might, in some worlds, be considered a curtsy. Very good, Vasilia. You are learning more every day.
Does she appear to be undead? Like, I'm not asking like a vampire or something, but like a zombie or some kind of controlled corpse.
I guess that's
A
a
Frankenstein,
insight
we
check.
might call it.
A Frankenstein. That's an insight check, I suppose. What did you get?
A 9.
All right. She looks like she's being held together with stitching, as if various pieces of her almost fell apart and required the most dedicated of surgery in order to virtually reassemble her.
If you don't mind, that's Anton's question too. Do you want me to roll again, or roll insight as well, or
Absolutely.
same?
Same info.
What's wrong with her?
Yeah, Sven's just gonna clasp his hand on his sword, kind of suspiciously gazing at these people like deserves to be fucking smote.
There is nothing wrong with her, just as there is nothing wrong with a child. She merely has to learn, she merely has to prepare for her wedding day. Prepare for her wedding day.
Right?
Who's the lucky groom?
You are looking on the bride of Strahd. You are looking on the bride of Strahd. You are looking on the. You are looking on the bride of.
And Abbott, of the sun grooming the bride of Strahd.
Yes, for we will lift the curse of Strahd.
You mean to return to him the love he lost?
Yes, this is a tale of love, of true love, of friends. We will lift the curse of Strahd.
Then pray tell, what do your dogs out the front have? Why do they have any business in the town's grave? The town cemetery.
Business in the town's grave. Well, you see, to find the most perfect pieces for the bride of Strahd, we must search far and wide.
That's, yep. I am going to cast Detect Evil and Good.
All right.
Sven's gonna kind of
You are in the
snort.
present. Sorry, keep going, keep going.
Sven's gonna kind of snort at that, glance around at the others, just kind of half draw his sword like it's starting to edge out of the sheath, and he's just gonna growl this. This being's no celestial. This is some fucking monster.
I've heard enough already. Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
kind of
and
why I've cast that spell.
Elenway, you are in the presence of a powerful celestial being.
Sven, I think your hunch may be wrong.
This thing's spewing blasphemy. Fucking
Will you
evil.
help us lift the curse of Strahd? You see, Vasilika is not ready for her wedding day. She needs a wedding dress to be ready for her wedding day. If you fetch me a wedding dress together, we can lift the curse of Strahd.
Had you not thought that perhaps this this approach might only anger the Count further? It seems
How can he be angry if we give him the most beautiful woman that can ever be made?
so. This evil and good didn't register the. She's not undead then. It's not registered.
She is not undead.
Yeah. Okay.
Priest. Sorry, if you can do that wonder, surely you could probably bring back people to life that have recently deceased, yeah?
I have the power over life and death.
I kind of looked at Anton, and what about the Burgomeister's son? He could revive him, yeah?
Anton has a really pained look on his face for a moment and almost seems to consider it, but then shakes his head and mouths, not like this.
I just nod and kind of, sorry, silly. He just lowers his head a little bit, kind of ashamed at the thought.
Mic off.
Pray tell, why have you come here if you have not come to lift the curse of Strahd?
Mic on.
Trying to get away from Strahd. Out of here.
You merely wish to run, but what use can it be to run? You cannot run from Strahd.
We've been informed that we may have to dispatch him to get out of here, right?
Violence cannot be the answer. The answer can only be found in love. We must show Strahd love.
How did the vampires back in our world
get over, get you know, get gone.
There was a thing called the Flight of Dragons, and the Flight of Dragons was basically the
A song.
only time in history since way back at the dawn of time before the gods like the sun ever turned up. Way back then was only 2 periods in history when the dragons have all put their shit aside and said, okay, let's work together. And so the dragons are like, okay, this is what we're going to do. We are going to scorch the entire earth completely free of all civilization, because that way we can be sure that we're going to get all the vampires. And that's what they did. They destroyed the world, and it worked.
Well, sure, violence can work, I'm sure.
It
Just
did.
extreme violence.
There must be another way. You must allow love to fade away.
I don't think that creature has any love in him.
I think he does, but for one woman in particular.
I, for his bride.
Not just his bride, for Katiana.
Hmm.
Irina.
And lovely as this girl you've forged is,
She
she's
smiles.
not Katiana.
This is no girl, this is some foul creature.
Hold your tongue. You are in the presence of a lady.
Are those behind us? Are those two people like staring through the door at us, or is it all closed?
I'll have a quick look. I believe these individuals are shackled to the back wall.
Wait, those ones?
Those pair,
Those
right?
two,
Yeah, yeah. They're just standing outside. They're probably not allowed in the abbey because same way you get the dogs not allowed on the furniture, and so they're kind of looking at you with a little bit of jealousy because I mean you get to go inside and they don't. But the abbot doesn't seem to fear you, right? Like, so they do. On the other hand, yeah.
As a holy being that you are, you must know the means to your desired end are, well, less than sustainable, less than holy.
How
This-
can you say you have never tried?
But as a tenant of this church, you must know that this is not good.
I know that it is good to spread love.
What love have you spread?
I have spread love to Strahd. I have found him a bride suitable of his majesty.
He just destroyed the lake in town because she wasn't his bride.
And what of the love for the town that this abbey resides over? The people down there are cold and lost. The burgomaster is without heir, and yet you sit here stitching together parts from different corpses for some this foul abomination that you might give to Strahd in the name of love. Please, this is not the way forward at all.
Your mortal mind blinds you to the long-term vision. It does not matter how many suffer. In the meantime, if we can lift the curse of Strahd. We must free Barovia from this terror. We must free the people from this shadow. We must bring the sun to shine again. The sun to shine again.
Anton is going to kind of quietly let the others take the lead in this conversation.
He starts dancing.
Back up.
Waltz.
And this corner here, is it like roughly, okay, out of sight of the abbot?
He wheels and turns. He's doing a bit of motion, but you will be able to play. Do you wish to explore the abbey? He asks as you sneak behind the staircase.
Yeah, that's not so much what he's trying to do. Just mainly get it to where he can see outside, but the abbot can't strictly get a good line of sight on him.
Yeah, okay, there's no worries. He asked the question nonetheless in that case, just to the group. Do you wish to see the abbey?
Yes, we would love to see the abbey.
Would you like to have an escort?
I don't think that'll be necessary. We're very capable of taking care of ourselves, and
But
we'd
I
hate
can
to
show
impose upon.
you
The
the
world.
significance of your discoveries, like a tour guide. Your tour guide.
An abbot is a tour guide. That's that'd be far too humble a position. We have our own cleric of the sun. I'm sure she'll be able to interpolate as needed.
I appreciate your words, but you cannot flatter me with pride. I shall let you explore the abbey on your own, but you must not bring violence to my sacred charge. Bring violence to his sacred charge.
Very well. We shall take a look around.
Very
Thank you.
well. I remind you, do not bring violence to my sacred charge.
All right.
Goodbye, Vasilka. Chunky. And you can see the stitching that is holding her hand together beginning to split. That will never do. He gets out his needle and thread and starts sewing her back together.
Does she have any insides when it starts to split?
There's like a graying flesh. It looks not unlike a zombie. Not unlike a zombie, but as far as Alemwe can tell, he's a celestial and she's not undead.
I mean, it's not my forte, but I mean, he'd be thinking it anyway. Yeah, I don't know, maybe like an insight check to see if he's been, slightly corrupted, like everything else in this whole place.
He's
Even
as
if he doesn't
fucking
know it.
fallen as can be.
Flip a
Yeah.
coin.
Maybe my
Yeah,
character-
like
Nothing wrong here, Dukovic. Nothing.
Sven's like, well, all these guys are talking about exploring the abbey. Sven's like got his hand like pale knuckles gripped around his sword, like clenched teeth, like this fucker needs to die.
You know,
this corrupt creature and take its power.
as
Shit.
moving past Sven, yeah, I kind of see the white knuckles on the sword, and I kind of like lean in real close and say, "I'm with you. If this is the path you want to take," and I move past as if to continue exploring.
Smite the evil.
One last question before we go, Mr. Abbott.
You may make as many questions as you like, for I have taken favor to you, for you are heroes come to lift the Strahd.
How and why are you here, or how did you get here?
Is it not obvious?
No.
I have come to lift the curse of Strahd.
I think he means, where were you born?
That is a very long and sacred story. Perhaps another time.
Shrugs.
What
Alright.
is the kind of attitude that everyone else has got here. Because yeah, Sven looks like he's like barely contained right now. He's gonna kind of glance around to see visually what everyone else is.
Oh, furious.
I'm disgusted more than anything. Fearful and disgusted. But, you know, I always look like that here.
Vorg's mainly just confused, but he's got a hand on his axe on his belt loop.
Fusion as well.
Anton's trying to hide it in front of the abbot, but he looks ready to burn this place down.
Sven will pay kind of grudgingly back down for now. For now.
I sense the violence in your heart, and I can tell you that violence only begets more violence.
Of course.
Not if you end it, man.
I'm expecting him to say, then I'll end it.
Yes, I think we will look around, and I can eye everybody to like make a move.
Remember,
Outwards.
find me a wedding dress.
The 25th of September.
I'll look at the abbot. Can I go look upstairs?
Be my guest. Explore the abbey to your heart's content.
I'm gonna see where he makes this fucker.
Alright.
Bonk, bonk, bonk.
Upstairs it goes to. Yeah, that's fine.
Upstairs.
Ooh, upstairs.
Crazy.
What reason? I'll just Oh, it's on a different map, so a different page that is. So I'll. Is everyone going upstairs?
I think if everyone makes their way up, yeah, like out of character, Elenway just wants to get to a point where she can talk to everybody without anyone else kind of around. So
Yeah.
if everyone's going upstairs, then yeah, Elenway will go.
Well, I'll move is all in one sector and copy and paste you.
As we're heading up, Sven's like
Yeah.
kind of taking small steps backward, keeping his eye on the abbot the whole time, kind of glancing around. The look on his face is saying, if that fucking two-headed thing wasn't in the corner of the room right now, I'd be jumping over this table to remove your head.
The abbot doesn't seem to notice, but the girl does. Her eyes, unblinking, stay on her, her neck going at almost impossible angles as she follows you while he waltzes her around the room.
I
Oh,
feel
hell
her
no.
doing, like the owl thing, where her head just keeps twisting around 180 degrees and looks at you. Oof.
The as you start to go upstairs, the little two-headed guitarist seems to make to follow you.
He follows us.
He does.
Okay. What do you mean? Split the party. Oh, excuse me.
He's not like right up your, up your bum like this, but he
Trailing
is.
behind.
Yeah, exactly. His little head wakes up, his little baby head. Ding, 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 ding. He plays a bit of a nursery rhyme, and the head calms down again and starts napping.
Everyone see the black tub?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
I'll lift it, have a peek.
Alright, so the
Big
wooden
red.
stairs climb 20 feet to a loft with a pitched roof and a door in the center of the south wall. Unlit lanterns hang from the rafters. A rope dangles from a bronze bell lodged in the belfry 30 feet overhead. The room is filled with the sound of the beautiful music, which he's playing his little lullaby to put put the baby back to sleep, and it gives you a moment to look around the room before he catches up with you. There is a black shroud on the wooden table. A black shroud covers a humanoid shape lying on a wooden table, and the music does nothing to stir it. There's a cot heaped with furs resting in the northeast corner, surrounded by empty wine bottles. An oil lamp burns atop a table nearby. Yeah, you're in the loft. Okay. I nearly almost accidentally shut roll 20 then.
Is this the belfry, like the main bell room?
Yeah, that's what that rope must be. That rope must be how you ring the bell, and that's why they put the square in, because that's where you've got to be to ring the bell. And yeah, this is the bell tower. That's right. So this is where you do the ringing from.
And we can see down, right?
Yeah, and the guy's coming up, but he has to stop to play music to his baby head.
Must be hard. I guess if no one else
Anton's
will,
gonna take a quick peek under the tarp.
All right, you lift up the tarp, and there you see several body parts. Probably human. Make a history or an insight check.
Can I be like peeking in with him?
You absolutely can.
I'm shit at inside. I'll just do inside.
What was that? Forget his name. Augustus, of course. One of the arms has Augustus's ring on its finger.
Augustus? Which one was Augustus?
He was
A
the
friend?
Our friend, the one
The
who was
the
playing
rogue.
Oh no shit. Okay. Wow. Wow. Okay.
Yeah. What actually happened to him, like in game when he disappeared? Did he just randomly disappear?
Yeah, must have walked into the mists.
Oh,
Anton will quickly take the ring off his finger.
Yeah. If that's Augustus's ring, like clearly and obviously, like my silvered short sword's coming out.
oh shit. I guess I draw my.
Yeah.
shoot.
Sven, if it is, Sven's gonna kind of back up against the wall around the top of the stairs, kind of draw his sword and just be ready to execute this thing as it comes up the stairs.
This.
The
Anton,
torso is of
Charlie.
a woman.
Listen, I think there's at least one of those terror artifacts here. Should we get it first before we tangle with the abbot? I want him dead too, but
There should be two.
What are you talking about?
Soroka reading.
What's going on over
you
here?
know there's
I call this a place where at least we can find one of them.
We know the garden is on the other side of the premises.
Yeah.
It's there.
this. Honestly, Anton, like, this is kind of a dick move out of character, but just because Anton really doesn't want this to turn into a bloodbath yet, he's gonna cast Calm Emotions on the group.
Ooh, that is a dick move.
Nah, that's alright.
Charisma save?
Oh, it's all right. Like, but it is like that's savage.
What is it?
I'm not judging. Like, dick move is the wrong. I only use that word for you. It's
Yeah. Well, like, I don't like to subvert roleplay, but like,
No,
in
that's
character
right.
and out of character, this is basically what he'd do.
yeah. Like, yeah. Oh, look at this. This is hilarious.
I think Sven's kind of looks like he's greasing up his shoulder to put even more strength into the swing
Well,
because
the
of
question-
that.
The question is, how many people have disadvantage?
Why do we have disadvantage?
Exhaustion.
Just
No.
not
Oh,
level
actually, no,
one
that's
of exhaustion.
yeah,
doesn't-
not a
Yeah.
saving throws. Never mind. My bad.
But I don't think anyone else has it except for you anyway.
What's the DC? It's probably higher than 14.
I think
eh?
I do. I
Oh,
didn't make
you
the
do?
save.
Good. So, Mindalis, that's right. I remember that.
And then where Shrugs sheaths the sword.
Who's?
Maybe we can deal with it later.
what
I
was
didn't see the
DC?
body, I don't think.
Sorry, what was the DC?
DC.
15.
What's going on?
Listen, I'm not leaving here without that abbot dead, but not now.
There are two riddles here, I think. Remember the sickness and then the garden.
Wait, maybe even 3.
3. Which one?
The
Just pull
second
out some
last one.
notes.
Evil's bride is the one you see.
I mean,
Even if that creature's our ally, I might not accept its aid.
yeah, it kind of creeps me out.
I thought that referred to Tatiana rather than the
That's why it's a coin flip, mate.
See, we have
Anton,
3.
like, he can't really reach out, but he's gonna, like, put a hand on Sven's sword arm and say, please, don't. Not yet.
It's coming up the stairs, Sven. You'll never have a better chance.
These fucking monsters. Not
Anton
only has he done all this shit.
Spins around the corner and uses minor illusion to create a small chicken on the ground right in front of the creature and have it basically run back down the stairs.
I didn't hear a word that Penguin actually said, but it doesn't. I still got every
Old man grumbling.
The man looks at it and he's really confused, and little baby head wakes up. Chicken! Ah! And then, shh, chicken! And when he doesn't chase it, the baby starts. I'll go and get the chicken, and then he chases after the chicken. The baby's happy again now.
Can I study the other body parts and stuff?
Yeah, absolutely.
I wanna, give it a good study and see what's going on.
It's predominantly made up of old females, but you can make a medicine check.
Let me know when that minute's up from that. Oh, hang on. How long does calm emotions last?
There's little you could tell.
1 minute.
Up to a minute.
Okay.
What's all this?
But no,
Yeah, I mean-
no other body parts.
Once the creature's gone, Anton lets it fade and lets you be angry at him if you want.
Linway already
Just
pocketed the ring.
Grumbling.
Oh, no, I
Yeah.
didn't.
I think Anton did.
Oh,
'cause
and
he wants to-
pocketed the ring. Sorry.
Anton, can I look at the ring?
This is
Of
gruesome.
course. And he
Yeah.
hands it over and he says, it certainly looks like his ring. And yeah, I'd like to take it back to his daughter.
Oh,
I'll I don't know, bring out one of my magnifying glasses and study it. Is it actually his ring, or is it does it look like a fake, like a replica?
All right, you can have insight advantage on a check to do either insight or jewelry check or some other appropriate tinker tool check. Yeah.
Can I do maybe a thieves' tools, like a
Yeah, well,
false
not
check?
thieves' tools. Not really thieves' tools. No.
Like a tinkerers?
Yeah, Tinkers is
smith?
good. Tinkers is good. Yeah.
Tinkerers.
To do a tool check with probably intelligence. I think. Yeah.
Tinkerers.
Yeah. Yeah, you can be under no doubts whatsoever that this is the genuine room.
Yeah, it's got his finger marks, everything.
Yeah.
what? Whose ring is it?
It's I forgot his name.
Augustus.
It's Augustus's ring. I just inspected it. It has the same markings and everything. And I hand
Augustus's ring?
Mm-hmm.
Aye, that it
Right.
is.
It came off this arm, and I pull the top off that singular arm.
It
And so,
looks like his arm.
and
The
so
male arm. Yeah.
how would we feel if the, do the inverted commas,
Oh.
if the bride for Strahd had Augustus's arm? No? This is
Ugh.
foul. Disgusting.
Poor Augustus.
I'm not leaving here until the abbot and that creature are dead.
Then let us go to the garden. Let
What's
us.
his daughter gonna think?
I know. I'm heartbroken for her.
What about
We'll give
that
him a
other
proper
one?
consecrated burial and be done. At least the parts of him we have.
Burial? We got his arm.
The ceremony,
Fucking-
at least.
Bury the angel downstairs, mate.
We will.
What about that other one?
The time
madness
is ready.
and sickness.
That could very well be here as well. We won't know until we look around.
We have business here, and it'll be better to do it before things are trying to kill us.
I agree. I could go if none of you can control yourself. I could ask the the thing down there about a nursery of some sort.
I can
Uh,
ask the plants if we have any questions that they might know.
Quick question: like, if this is the belfry, it's logically like the highest point in the tower or in the abbey, right?
Yeah, that is logical.
Um, is or looking out the window, can Anton see the garden?
Yeah, you can. You can. You can see scarecrows in the courtyard, those guard scarecrows, but there's no garden there. But if you look up in the distance, through the light snow and through the mist, which is only thin this high up in the highlands, you can see that in among rather ramshackle garden, might have once been beautiful, but it's now so poorly tended, overgrown with thorns and thistles and weeds. Protecting this garden are a handful of scarecrows.
Are they moving or just being scarecrows?
Then they're not doing a thing. Yeah, they're just blowing in the very gentle wind.
I see a snowy garden with a lot of scarecrows. I'd put money that's where something we're looking for.
And it said not to the garden, but to the guardian. So I'm guessing it might be the
One of the
scarecrows of the
scarecrows.
guardians. Yeah.
Let's go take a look.
I'll
While we're
tell
still
us
What's
in
the
this
the...
door over here?
Can I hear the weird guy coming back up?
That's right. He's coming back up right now. And the question of the door.
Yeah,
Which door?
right at the bottom here, south.
Oh, right. Yeah, sorry. So there is. Yeah, so remember how the two sectors of the Abbey are joined by... This is likely heads out to the balcony, to the curtain.
So this should head over to the other side of the abbey.
Yeah, you think so. You think the whole thing probably linked, in a roundabout way, yeah. It
Sven's
makes
gonna-
sense.
Sven's gonna open it up since these guys are so determined to stop him from slaying the evil and driving the curse from this place.
Right now.
He's kind of grumbling and throwing a little tantrum to himself. He's gonna storm out here and have a look around.
Excellent. And
He's an old man. He's allowed to have tantrums.
indeed, that's right.
I just want to fucking
Be
kill
odd if
the
he didn't.
evil. Why won't they let me fucking kill the evil? He needs to be fucking slayed or it's gonna fucking hurt someone. Look at what it's done to fucking Augustine already. The man had a fucking daughter.
Well, I mean, in the abbot's defense, it doesn't seem like he killed any of those people whose parts he's using.
But he may have given the order.
I'm glad we're defending the Abbey.
Possibility. I wouldn't put it past the fucker, honestly.
The Abbey is justified.
I think the sooner we look around and get to the bottom of what we're supposed to find, the sooner that we can put this fucker in the ground.
Can I sneak Anton's arm into my bag when no one's looking?
you may make a slide of arm check.
I'll need a hand in these coming times.
Oh my god. Fuck.
Picture that. It's like a monkey's paw. He's got 5 wishes now.
What's that?
I poorly fumble it.
Do you fumble?
No, I got a 9, but I poorly swipe it.
So who's in the room when you're...
I'm still right there.
Currently,
Me and
Duke is
Djukovic.
right there.
Yeah.
Mendaris is like over near the balcony thing.
This
Has-
arm has a tattoo of a fairy dragon.
Was that there before?
You don't recall seeing his arm, but did anyone ever see him naked?
If you
I
got
think so.
really drunk one night,
Oh.
maybe.
You don't... You've known this guy for years, or a couple of years anyway, some of you. The arm hairs are the same colour, the skin It's turned a bit blue and a bit pale, so the skin color is a bit hard to determine. The ring is undoubtedly his, but you can't remember if you've ever seen this tattoo or not.
Can
Surely
I
you
look at it?
remember it. Sure.
Can I look at the fingers to see? Because Augustine used, obviously he was a bit of a thief, so he used like lockpicks and bolts and stuff. So his fingers would be pretty not calvinized. What's it called?
Callous?
Callous, yeah.
Callous. So he'd be
Calvinized.
pretty callous fingers. Is this hand the same?
Make a medicine check.
Oh god.
It does have calloused fingers, but it also has calloused hands. The kind of evenness that one might expect from a guy who wields a shovel or some other tool day in, day out. Yeah, his whole hands are calloused rather than just the fingertips.
So,
I don't think Augustine did a hard day's work in his life. He mostly took what he wanted, didn't he?
No fucking clue, mate. Say as I shovel the hand into the bag.
Alright. I ignore it and let him take the arm. That's no big deal.
Sven's ready to like go on a murder frenzy in the name of his dead friend, and Vorg's like, "Fuck it," and shoves his hand into the bag.
It's not a murder frenzy. It's a cleansing ritual.
it's an inquisition, right?
I will
Yeah.
add Augustine's arm to my inventory.
It weighs 5 pounds.
Oh my
Question mark after that, mate.
Fun.
You want to put a question mark after that?
I'll put it in brackets. Question mark.
Yeah, parenthesis or quotation marks. Augustine.
Need citation.
There's a bunch of scarecrows here. Sven, they're lining the abbey walls, looking at spears. With the thick fog, at a distance, you could quite easily mistake them for guards.
Sven's just gonna kind of storm along a bit. What's over the side of the wall here? Is that out into the abbey still, or is that like over a cliff?
No, that's out. Yeah, that's down into like the. So here's the front door. Can you see that where I'm pinging? Probably.
Where?
Yeah.
Can you see that?
Oh yeah, down there. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. So that's where you walked in, and which means that down here is like those garden chicken sheds are probably over here. The bat thing is probably about here. Yeah, that's what you're looking down into. If you look down to the left, however, southwest, then you'll be looking down onto the village of Kresk, and the escarpment, as you well know, is quite steep and high.
Yeah, he'll kind of walk along here while grumbling and kind of smack one of the scarecrows over as he goes past.
Smash.
Vent-
Yeah, it splinters into straw and twigs and twisted metal.
In the same way, a really scared son kind of like is worried about his father and doesn't want to get too close because he's angry and he's worried about what he might do. I'm gonna like follow him from behind a little bit away, but try and keep out of sight, out of mind.
All right.
10 feet will do.
Like, fuck, I hope you don't accidentally smite me.
Congratulations, Sven. You've reached the level of alcoholic father.
I think Sven reached that point about 50 years ago.
He came out of the womb with like a wife beater on.
Up ahead, you see a couple of doors leading into another sector, another segment of the castle, the abbey.
Yeah, Sven's gonna head up to one of the doors and just open them.
The first door, yeah, no worries. It appears old and used, but it's not locked. So the door opens with a bit of a stiff bust of your shoulder. You're looking into. There's a wooden counter shaped like an L that stands at the front of what might once have been a spacious office. all the furniture, except for the counter, has rotted away. So there's not much here except for mouldy wood and faded cloth. Whoop, 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 something starts clamoring and screaming, but it's underneath your feet, like beneath the floorboards here, down the stairs. There's a set of stairs, and echoing up from those staircases, hollering and screeching, and what kind of sounds a bit like chanting.
Yeah, Sven just continues walking in. He's got his sword out in his hand, like he's walking around. He's got a real cranky look on his face. You can tell he's probably thinking, "Oh, so help me God, something better fucking attack me so I can cut it into."
What's this room? We've just
This
walked
room looks
in.
like an abandoned office. There's an L-shaped piece of furniture, and everything else is pretty much rotted away or broken. There's a door in the far edge, windows that look like a courtyard, and outside there was another door as well. There's also a staircase leading down, and there's hollering coming up from that staircase.
Anton will open this door cautiously, of course.
Stiff, but nonetheless, the door gives way when you give it a shove.
And I'll open this door over here. Is only outside.
Yours is locked, Rory.
I'm bashed a little bit.
Bash. You think it'll give way if you smash it enough? Do you give it a check type bash, or is it just a hit?
I mean, I think it's athletics if you want to bash it, but I'll just pull
If
out my
yeah.
axe.
Oh, okay. You just chop it into it, hack it into it.
I hear this going off. I'll come out and be like, "Oh shit! All right, bashing down doors. Let's do it."
All right. You hack the door to pieces, and roll for initiative.
Oh shit!
Anton comes around the corner just in time to say, "The fuck."
Got a big roll.
19. Oof. Dugovic. Go, big boy.
How's it feel, Mendatus, to get a nat 20 and lose initiative?
Yeah, I know, right? Jeez.
I mean, to be fair, you did get a 19. That's only one less.
You have a +4 initiative? What is that?
Dexterity.
Plus, isn't it?
Really high dex for a buff.
Dexterity plus.
Jack of all trades.
Yeah, jack of all trades.
Oh yeah, jack of all trades. There you
Yeah.
go. I forgot about that.
Good shit, that is.
All right. Now, Anton, before you go anywhere, I didn't describe your room until I'd seen what these guys were going to do, because there's every chance that you move out anyway. So, but you might. You're looking into a spacious chamber that contains bed frames of wrought iron arranged in two neat rows. There are cobwebs and bits of rotten mattresses clinging to each frame. 3 doors are placed along the south wall. Each has a plaque mounted on it. From west to east, the plaques read operating room, nursery, and morgue. So you hear the hacking of wood going on out here. Do you continue what you were going to do and go back and see Vorig?
Yeah.
All right, no worries. And so I just thought that I'd
Yeah,
tell
I
you where
appreciate
you
that.
were. No problem. Okay, it's your go. What do you do?
He yells, "For fuck's sake, leave them on for 5 seconds," and runs back through. Or let me measure that distance there.
Ten feet squares.
Yeah, that's it.
Are they 10-foot squares?
Yeah, but you measured it out, so that's
All right.
Yeah.
And he's gonna dash, I think.
cool.
And that'll be it.
Mendatus.
Well, actually, can he see? I can see someone's name, but not their token at the bottom of the stairs.
Right. They didn't go downstairs. No, the hacking's coming
Oh,
from
I
outside.
think I'm seeing someone's token
Yeah,
poked
so if I
through the
move,
Yeah,
wall.
just-
Never mind.
if
through
if
the
I
wall.
move, is that right?
There's a couple of people there. You can see
Yeah,
multiple
it's
tokens
something
there.
Enor.
Oh well.
Ellen ways.
Ignore
Oh
that
yeah,
for a
that'd
bit.
be Mullen.
All right.
Yeah, so if you can't see her, nothing.
Cool. Mindatus.
I guess I'll try and look while Vorig's bashing through the door, see if I can see anything.
Yeah. Make a perception check. What'd you get?
16.
Alright. There is someone hiding under the third bed and they have their crossbow drawn. I better tell you what's in the room at this point. Okay. So there's some bunk beds. They've disintegrated with age, and bunk beds that are disintegrated with age lie in heaps along the walls of this mouldy 30-foot square room. But the place looks only partially abandoned, although it doesn't look like anyone came here for years. Someone's been here recently. You can tell that because there is some gear on the various beds, climbing ropes, boots of a medium to small size, kittens, a bedroll, and many, many wooden stakes.
Hang on, Vorig. There's someone in there with a crossbow. Let me see if I can hold him real quick. I'm gonna cast Hold Person on him.
All
Fucking-
right.
Am I able to move in, actually?
Yeah, you can do your rolls, move and all that.
Yes, I would like to cast Hold Person on him. Fuck.
All right. DC below 22.
Yes, sadly.
All right.
Unfortunate.
Yeah, jeez. Fuck.
Why don't you have? Too bad your DC's only 21. Hey.
Ridiculous. Like, get good. All right.
Should have had a higher DC.
All right. There seems to be some chaos going on outside.
I'm not worried about leaving old Sven alone. I'm just gonna walk in the door.
Yeah.
What are we looking for? And I guess I ready my action, kind of creeped out by this room. I'll just, hearing that they're fighting, I probably have my two light crossbows ready, and I'll just hold my action to shoot something. If it
Honestly, all I
attacks
think
me.
we've heard so far is Vorig chopping down a door.
I'm pretty skittish anyway.
I
Just
mean, yeah, like you
generally
rolled
after
in
the
your
whole
race to be ready to
necromancy.
fucking murder something. In
Yeah.
this city,
Legit. Yeah, this room seems to be filled with moving shadows, and you're pointing your bloody crossbow at every last little shadow that you see.
I'm ready to leave the room immediately.
Man.
That'd be a fun element of Curse of Strahd. Like your characters just get so paranoid if they like hold an action to attack something, they have to like make wisdom saves to not just shoot at nothing.
Yeah.
That's a nice magic.
So yeah, we've only heard Vorig chopping wood at this point in time, and maybe because Sven's already seeing red, he's kind of like, oh yeah, he's found a locked door, and he's bashing it in just like I did with the other door. Over
Yeah, I can reason with this.
yeah. So you said one of these rooms is labeled as a nursery. That's one of the things that we'd hypothesized.
Where children once cried. Yeah.
Yeah.
The middle room goes
Sickness.
operating room, nursery, and more.
Oh, sickness.
He's gonna go and bash down the door of the nursery.
Smash.
You just trying to open it? You're just gonna smash it.
opening
We're
doors
well
with
beyond opening
pansies. I
doors
mean,
at this point.
I meant what I
Vorik
said.
is clearly chopping a door down over there. I can't just let him one up me like that.
Fair enough.
All right. So you
Listen,
see a
if forces
room.
push, you pull. It's not directions. It's a challenge.
Yeah, this axes solve everything. The room contains the wreckage of old wooden cribs. There is a window, and within that glass, Sven, you can see your own reflection. You look old, you look haggard, you look like you're kept alive by your anger. It seems to be the emotion that is fueling you right now. But that's not what you're looking at right now, because you see your reflection and you see past it, and behind you stands a woman, a beautiful, tall woman, 6 foot tall, with long blonde hair that flows all the way down to her hips. She has broad white wings that are spread wide and wide open, and she holds in her hand a sword that is made of blazing sunlight, and in the other hand she holds a great tome, a huge book. And you're looking at this reflection, and she's only a few feet behind you.
Just kind of jump forward a step or two and spin around.
There's no one there.
Oh, fucking hell. Fucking hell.
What's going on?
And yeah, he'll just spend his turn kind of using his sword to look around the rubble in the room, see if there's anything here.
As you turn away, little do you see the shadows begin to coalesce and mix together like some night dark soup. If you take another step closer, I will put a stake through your heart, comes a woman's voice from within the room that Mindardas has entered.
Are we right to respond, or?
You may, yeah.
A stake through a heart won't do any good. Much. It'll hurt.
I have found a stake through your heart to be very effective.
I don't know about you, but wood in my heart would kill me.
Hearing this, Elenwe's gonna push past Vorig and stand side by side with Mindardas and say, "No, stake through the heart's not gonna do any good. We're friends. We're not here to cause any sort of trouble. Please."
I'll make that decision.
It's you? It's you? How did you live this long? And you're looking
Esmeralda?
at the eyes, of the woman who read your fortune.
What the fuck?
Oh shit.
She is heavily armed. She's got her crossbow ready. It's a loaded crossbow. It's got 3 stakes already on some sort of strange mechanism. Not even using bolts, but big, chunky wooden stakes. And you look around the room and you see garlic and you see silver and mirrors and flasks of crystal clear fluid.
Esmeralda, what are you doing here?
It is a long story. Perhaps I should explain. But before she gets a chance to, Vorig, what are you doing?
Storming in,
Yeah.
pushing past, looking for some trouble, but I see it's her.
But you don't find the trouble. The trouble instead has found Sven and Dukovic.
Oh shit.
Has a turntable.
Do I get a shot off or?
You'd get a shot off immediately as these black shadows coalesce and take on humanoid form, like rising up from the beds that they died in and getting out and coming towards you.
I immediately like. It's not even like I like accurately like not accurate, but like I'm aiming at them. It's kind of like a reaction, scared, and I just tense and I shoot at them. I only have my hand crossbow. Only 11.
it just barely passes one. It was oh so close. And they move in. With each foot that they come close to you, you feel the chill of their aura, rigid, all the way to the bone.
Ah, fuck, I might die here.
You might die.
Right, right.
Okay, not all of them are going to me, that's alright.
No, they sense the nearest life force, and they began coalescing from Sven. In fact, Sven was the one who set them off originally. So it's not surprising that they should come and try to feast upon his life essences.
Alrighty. Come on.
There are 2 on Sven and 3 on Djukovic. These are on Sven. 1, 2.
Uh, 17, 21.
Both hit.
They both hit.
Oh,
Fuck. I may actually die outright here if they get all 3 hit.
Oh boy.
Okay, so that last one doesn't hit, but the other 2 do. Now let's see if I die outright. If they both roll max 4s, okay. Down to 1 strength.
You are
Oh.
so feeble.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
What noises do you, Pam, make as your life force is devoured almost instantly?
So you know that that scene in Harry Potter where he hears the scream while he's getting the Dementor sucked out of him? Yes, that scream followed by like just like slight whimpering and like feebleness. Just ugh. So 18 damage. 18.
Your friends! They're in trouble!
Sounds like it.
Anton.
Yeah, Anton hears the scream and immediately like whips around the corner. Sees Dukovic in trouble. Charges down and I'm gonna say cast Cure Wounds on Dukovic. Well, nah, fuck contact. Is going to take a crossbow shot at that one then, assuming his line of sight.
He does.
Halfling.
Oh yeah, nice.
That is with disadvantage though, so it is a 13
disadvantage, of course, because of your fatigue.
No, it's
It
only on
will.
ability checks on level 1, right?
I thought
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
I thought an attack was an ability check.
No.
Or skill checks, sorry, is what I mean.
Yeah, it's just it's, yeah. In any case, it's just skill checks. Yeah, so yeah, it would have hit anyway, but a 24 does hit as well.
9 damage. Yells, "Fuck, Dukovic!"
The old man's ghost dissipates on the impact of your bolt.
Ooh, and as a bonus action, he will inspire Dukovic.
All right.
Use wild shape to turn into a panther again.
Yeah. Bonus action, right?
Action, I believe, yes.
I thought it was a bonus for Moon
Only
Druid.
for Moon. Oh, is he a Moon Druid?
No, I'm not.
For
Oh, right. Of course, you're a fungi druid, yeah.
He's a fun
Fun
guy to
guy.
have around.
Oh my god.
So I'm pretty sure it's 50 feet of movement. And I will 35, 40, 45. Can I jump over this?
With ease, yeah.
Yeah. Sure, it's 50 onto there, 55, 60, 70, 75, 80, 85, and I'll just like stand here or here, here, trying to like take one of its attention away from Djukovic if I can.
Alright. Djukovic, you are heavily encumbered.
How far can I move with that much?
I imagine the
half?
speed is 0. Like, I don't know how much you're carrying, but I think that your total like carry weight might be like 10, 20, or 30 or something.
Yeah. Okay.
I don't know what the maths is, but I think that you probably have a speed of 0.
Okay. I'll be on the. I'll kind of. I guess I'd like kind of like. Just be kind of like kneeling there under the weight, and I'm just gonna try and use both of my light crossbows. Take one, shoot it at one in front of me, and take the other and shoot it next to me at the same time, and just go butt.
Alright.
And I'm not sure how you want to interpret that, but technically one of my light crossbows is magical now, so I don't know how
Pick
to
one.
play that.
Yeah.
So just say that it shoots 2 arrows because it's magical, or like.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, I'll say my first shot is my magical one,
Yeah.
and it magically shoots an additional arrow at the same time. So I'll
Sounds
make
good.
2 attacks. So 1, 2 on that first one. 7 damage and 5 damage on the first one.
Exploding it.
And then the last one gets a final shot on it, which is a 20.
Oh.
And that's 8 damage on him.
Almost enough.
Carry
not
weight is
quite.
5 pounds.
Yeah, I have more than that.
I
And
have more than that, do you?
But yeah, I think pretty sure.
Yeah.
You're heavily encumbered if you're over 10 times. So if you have more than 10 pounds, your speed is 10 currently. Well, it drops by 20.
So I just realized something there. There's 3
Yeah.
of them at Sven. Was it 3 that attacked Sven and not 2?
No, only 2 because one can't get through.
The door.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty much can't move.
Disadvantage on ability checks, attack rolls, saving throws that use strength, dex, con.
Oh.
Disadvantage on attack rolls.
Attack rolls.
Yeah, that's alright. Both of those are pretty high anyway.
Well, that first one
There's
might not
3.
hit.
Oh, there's 3.
Yeah, the first one won't hit.
It will not hit.
Well, I would have kept shooting 1 until it was dead. Oh no, I specifically said to divvy it up. So no, never mind. It's alright.
Variant encumbrance.
There are shadows around, pouring through the door. Sven, pouring through the door.
Sven's gonna kind of stumble to his knees. Those couple of hits he took really fucking hard. And he's going to channel his Radiant Soul.
That's what we
It's
need.
probably flickering and appearing quite weak at the moment.
Alright. Okay, so you still have the bonus action in your move?
Bonus action. I shall put a Hexblade's Curse on the one in front of me.
Yeah.
To try and move or not. How thick does that window seem?
Stained glass, so half an inch. No, that window's shattered. The glass in that window is broken. The glass in All the windows on this side of the building are broken.
Oh. No, fuck it. He's not running from a fight. He'll kind of bring himself to his feet and take up a stance with his sword.
I'm gonna
Excellent.
miss Sven and Dukovic.
Yeah. I'm just thinking about who I might want to play next.
She leaps to her feet and scrambles forward, and excuse-moi, pushes herself past the group with her crossbow in hand. And then away.
Yes. Hearing the commotion, I am going to go. What's that? 10, 20, 30. I will use my action to dash another 5. 10. What's that? 20, 30. And seeing all these shadows, we've seen them before in the basement of Death House. So I am going to use my bonus action to drop a spiritual weapon on the other side of the one of Djukovic here.
Excellent.
I am going to use a 3rd level spell slot.
Okay. He gets an attack immediately.
I believe so, as part of the casting. Yeah.
Yep.
And this is at level 3. So 11 points of force damage.
It explodes in a rain of darkness.
And that will be my turn. Look flustered and won't say anything as I run in.
Boring.
Hey, what the fuck? 10, 15, I can get there, so I'm gonna dash to double. Can I get over or through this wooden beam?
It's a wall.
25. Ooh. That's probably 30 actually, and then for 35. So I get there.
You can climb over the table, yeah, but it's an acrobatics check. For the Panzer, it's just a simple thing. But
What could I have bashed through it? Just shoulder barge?
yeah, it's weak enough. Yeah, it's you can just smash straight through it with an athletics DC 10 as part of your movement. Yeah, just
Hey.
barely get through.
So I'd make it there because I was outside.
Yep.
I think. Yep, would make it there. Cool, yeah, that's me.
Cool. All right. This is the one on Djukovic.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of beds.
Oh, that just hits.
Goodbye, Djukovic.
Goodbye. And I'm dead. Can I do some theatrics before I completely die first out?
Absolutely.
Okay. Can I do you mind if I describe it how it does it?
Yeah, that'd be my guess.
Okay. I guess it'd like pounce on top of me because I'm so over encumbered. It'd push me to the ground, and as it kind of puts its hand on my throat, I kind of look through the doorway to Elenwe and Tonavorig, and like there's a tear running down my face. Just say, "Make it out for me," and you see the light fade from his eyes, and he dies.
Oh, what the fuck?
The shadows push past the door and surround Sven. They are the shadows of men he has killed in the past. They wear the faces of enemy soldiers whom he met on the battlefield in direct combat. We have come for our revenge.
He's dead. He's dead.
Oh. Oh, wait, that's a 12 and a 9. Only one hit. How much strength do you have?
No, it's not a 12 and a 9 because after that 24, I'm out cold, which means the second one's
Oh.
at advantage. Yeah, and I'm dead anyway.
Oh,
Oh
Not down, just dead.
Dead, because that
Oh.
drains my strength as well, because I was on
Yeah.
3.
Oh, you were on 3.
Tragic.
Lucky.
If you think that's tragic, wait until we get to the next scene. But we'll prolong that just a moment.
Sven kind of got. He never even really got a chance to fight back. It's more he got forced down to one knee from the first round of draining, and it's kind of spluttering out. Fuck you!
With
He hits
just a
the ground.
scream of rage and grief, Anton draws his rapier and charges through the doorway. Sees the shadow and just dives on it. Reckless, if you please. He's not a barbarian. I'm gonna spend my inspiration point for advantage.
You annihilate a shadow with the face of Djukovic.
Ancon just keeps stabbing the area it was, even as it fades away, and then just like starts grieving over Dukovic's body, just fucked up.
Meanwhile, Sven's in the next room dying, like, fuck, don't they care about me?
He didn't see you die yet.
Mintaris.
Alright. I would like to get. Is that within 5 feet of Sven?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then turn back to me and cast Gentle Repose on Sven.
Mm-hmm. His face is caught in a contortion of fear.
And that's me, folks.
The shadows turn towards you and prepare to their feast. Djukovic and Sven, I will tell you yet, safe to say, you are not where you thought you would be.
So, what?
I'll get back to you in a moment, but whatever you expected to be the fate of your soul is not your
Oh.
ultimate fate.
I mean, that could be good, could be bad.
Could be. Stops over the body, takes a step back. She looks around for any other enemies. And then wait.
10, 15 feet into the room, kind of see Djukovic lying there. Stop briefly and like touch his cheek. Keep moving. I bid the spiritual weapon move 20 feet. And it's going to swing at this shadow here.
Mm-hmm.
16.
Eat well and truly, yeah, their defenses not solid.
It's 11 points of force damage.
Vaporized it.
And I finish my turn here. Yeah.
I will up. So here, I don't see any enemies. Do I hear fighting still going on?
The spiritual weapon really doesn't make noise. You could see that the panther is growling into this room down here.
How far did I move? 10, 15? I think it's 15. 20. I'll brush past Dukovic and Anton holding him, is he?
Yeah. Basically just like cradling his head.
So that's 35, so I'll dash. Oh, there's a bunch in here.
I'll just move the spiritual weapon now for your ease of
Yeah.
visibility.
I'll move further. I'll just move further in. Okay, I see two
Yeah, you're standing on one now. That's it.
for me, it was standing there.
Oh, is it? Oh, right. Okay. Who knows?
Just roll 20 being like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'll stand if I can stand there because I see two in here. I don't know if there's actually two.
There's two. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'll stand here. I don't have an action, so I'll just leave it at that. Actually, roll rage as a bonus.
The two shadows were going for Mindaris, but Boric has taken their attentions.
Second one hits for 12. Down to that. -2 to my strength.
He was the most gentle of us, Anton. Purest. The one that had the most regrets. He fired upon that raven, but how strongly, how sad he felt about it after. He was the one who had the most in touch with his own human weaknesses, his own emotions. And his dead head is cradled in your hands.
Yeah, Anton's he's ignoring the combat at this point and just like he's not going to do anything this turn.
Yeah. Mindaris, you don't have such luxuries.
Sorry.
You don't have the luxury of ignoring the battle.
I will bring out not bring out my rapier, but I will take a slash at this one here.
Yeah. Row. You
No
claw it.
less. 13.
13's enough. How much damage with your claws?
I've turned back last turn.
Oh, did you? Oh, right.
And cast for repairs, yeah.
Of course. So smash. The shadow is obliterated, leaving only one in its wake. Djukovic and Sven. We'll wait just a moment longer till we find out your fate. Not caring so much about the monster, and unaware that it's already too late. Esmeralda does what she can to save Djukovic's life, which is nothing.
Step into this doorway here. See this last shadow. Again, the spiritual weapon, the great sword, just comes crashing down. .17 points force damage.
Yeah. It exists no more.
And this is the first time that I've seen Sven, so I drop to a knee and kind of cradle his head and start crying.
And Lenway, as you look up with this old man's head in your hands, you see the reflection of this mentor, this father figure, dead in your arms, and behind you, an angel weeps.
Glance back over my shoulder.
There's nothing. The angel bore a sword made of sunlight, and strapped to her waist was a vast tome. She also wore around her neck the same amulet which you carry. Sven and Jukovic. Well might you wonder, as we all do, what would become of you in death. Perhaps you envisioned heaven. Perhaps you thought you might be in verdant fields or fairy forests, endless beaches or cool nights. Perhaps you thought to rejoice forever with your gods, or to simply know oblivion. Perhaps you thought yourself damned and likely to burn, likely to suffer an eternity of damnation. There is no fire where you are, nor brimstone. There is not much of anything. But there is an endless supply, licking at your feet, washing over your hands, shrouding your view. Everywhere is mist. You wander for 1,000 years, and all you find is mist, east and west, north and south. You wander for an eternity, your soul unable to escape, for nothing can escape the demiplane of dread, not even the dead. Until, in your eternal wanderings, your eternal scourings of this wasteland of nothing, you hear birds, you smell trees and grass, and you emerge in the valley of Barovia. For so great is Strahd's grip on you that even death will not release you from this prison.
What was the reflection in mirror, glass? What was it?
Stained glass window.
I approach that window and reach out and touch it.
It feels warm, like as it had been heated by the sun. There are broken toys and children's sandals, shattered glass, little frills and pieces of lace that once belonged to petticoats and socks of children, babies.
Anton unfolds the note Dugovich apparently has on him.
Uh-huh. He does indeed.
It's nothing fancy. It's like a ripped piece that he had from his workbooks and notes, and he just wrote that out messily. You can't tell when, but it seems not recent. you gathered probably a few weeks old. He probably wrote that early on.
It looks like a
Anton reads
suicide
that and
note.
just sobs again.
Yeah, as if the man was so prepared for his death that he prophesied it coming.
Yeah, it was probably a bad omen when we met the woman who told our fortunes, and the first words out of her mouth was, "You're still alive?"
Mm. Yeah.
She put a gypsy curse on us. It's all her fault.
Killer.
It all started with them fucking gypsies. Or gimpies, rather.
I'm gonna spend 5 charges and cast sunlight from the holy symbol, and as I'm touching that window, glance back over my shoulder at Sven. I think of Djukovic and I say, Markovia, or Nordica, whoever you might be, you know that that blade will help us, and us coming here shall not be for nothing.
I'm gonna kick over all the cots in anger.
And as you do, with your fury, with your rage, you kick over a cot, and there is a gleam of light as the bright sunlight from the medallion shimmers and reflects off an ancient book. A book with a cover that has no title. Do you dare to open it?
I do.
The first page bears the name of this work. It is called The Tome of Strahd.
Great, we come into a fucking cursed. Got a stupid book.
I, Strahd. I am the ancient. I am. My beginnings are lost in the darkness of the past. I was the warrior. I was good and just. I thundered across the land like the wrath of a just god. But the war years and the killing years wore down on my soul as the wind wears stone into sand. All goodness was slipped from my life. I found my youth and my strength gone, and all I had. My army settled in the Barovia and took power over the name of a just God, but with none of God's grace or justice. I called for my family, long unseated from their ancient thrones, and brought them here to settle in the castle Ravenloft. They came with a mine, Sergei. He was handsome and youthful. I hated her. From the valley, one shone above all others, a rare beauty, who was called perfection, joy, and treasure. Her name Yana, and I longed for her to be mine. I loved her with all of my heart. I loved her for her youth, for her joy. She spurned me, old one, elder, girl. Her heart went to Sergei. They were betrothed with what me brother, but in her eyes they reflecting nothing. It's of the age she loved her youth and enjoyed it, but I had squandered mine. The death she saw in me turned her from me. And so I came to hate death. My death. My hate is very strong. I would not be called death so soon. I made a pact with death, a pact of blood. On the day of the wedding, I killed Sergei, my brother. The pact was sealed with his blood. I found Tatiana weeping in the garden east of the chapel. She fled from me, not let me explain, and a great anger swelled within me. I had to understand the pact I had made for her. I pursued her. Finally, in despair, she flung herself from the walls of Castle Ravenloft, and I watched everything I ever wanted fall from my grasp forever. It was 1,000 feet through the mists. No trace of her was ever found. Not even I know her final fate. Arrows from the castle guards pierced me to my soul. But I did not die, nor did I live. I became undead forever. I have studied much since then. Vampire is my new name. I still lust for life and youth, and I curse the living that took them from me. Even the sun is against me. It is the sun that I fear the most. But nothing else can hurt me now. Even a stake through my heart does not kill me, though it holds me from movement. But the sword, this cursed sword that Sergei brought, I must awful to. I fear and hate it as much as the sun. I have often hunted for Tatiana. I have even felt her in my grasp. But she escapes. She taunts me. She taunts me. What will it take to bend her love to me? I now reside far below Ravenloft. Live among the dead and sleep beneath the very stones of this hollow castle of despair. I shall seal shut the walls of the stairs, that none may disturb me.
I don't think this was worth it.
What could have been?
We will have to make it worth it in the end. We have no excuse now to not rid this place of that foul creature and all of these disgusting denizens of this abbey and this place. Curse it all.
The Taroka spoke of a weapon here, not a tome. Do we see anything else?
There is a blade. I see it in the reflection of this window. Though I see not the weapon here in this room.
You see not the weapon, but you do feel a surge of power, each of you. You feel the quickening rush up through your toes and your legs, your loins, your arms. And while this power is no less invigorating than it has been each and every time, this time there is little joy in your accomplishment. There is little to rejoice about in your discovery and your empowerment. You go up a level.
Da, 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 da.
So, out of character, Arctic, you've described what happens to Sven and Djukovic. Does anything happen to their bodies, like the corpses here?
Oh yeah. How long do you want to wait?
Did my gentle repose do anything for like for Sven?
It may be.
Cool.
It's certainly it's not rotting him, but you wouldn't expect the body to rot in 5 minutes anyway. So the point being, the effects are not yet obvious, but it seems to be working the way it should.
Can I pick something of Sven that was of sentimental value to him, or something that he had all the time?
His
How about
sword.
that crystal orb?
That was on Djukovic, right?
No, I
No,
got him.
Sven had the crystal orb.
I'll pick up his sword, strap it to like the back of my waist, and I'll pick up the orb too.
The orb swirls with purple power that seems to speak to you.
Can I like? Is it like fragile? Can I feel like sort of like toss it around in my hands? Does it feel fragile?
No, it doesn't. It feels quite solid.
Oh, okay.
Orb of the sun.
See, that's a very fair question. Exactly how long after a party member dies is it appropriate to steal his shit?
Depends on the party.
I'm not
if you-
taking his body anywhere. If we're going back to town, I'm taking a keepsake of his.
You mean you're leaving his body here for the abbot to cut apart, and
I'll bury
stitch
ya.
onto this?
Bury ya, but I gotta take some.
The
part of it
granddad of
back.
Strahd.
If we can find precious gems here, I might be able to in combination with this spell that you've used, Min, I might be able to bring them back. But I don't like our chances of finding diamonds anywhere around here. Maybe in the church or possibly with the Burgomaster, but I don't know. I don't know, and I throw my sword to the ground, and the spiritual weapon dissipates, and kind of just take a seat on the ground. Put
What
head,
is the?
my head in my
What
hands.
is your sword, Sven?
It's just a sword.
Short sword.
It's a ordinary long sword.
Okay, Sven's long
Who-
sword.
Who said they needed a diamond?
I might be able to use a diamond. Yes.
That's for the resurrection spell, correct?
Not as powerful as that one. This is Revivify, and I think
How long can
I-
you do it?
it's 1 minute, but out of character, I think the Gentle Repose puts it to 10
Yeah.
days. Yeah, so we have the 10 days.
It pauses the
basically.
death timer,
Yeah.
but you've only done it on Sven.
Yeah, I
My
think it's been a minute already.
yeah,
I'm
might
dead.
want to
It's Sven's
get
second
that shit
save.
cast on him because my
I'd-
thinking is I think the abbot has the ability to cast Revivify, so he's probably got diamonds.
I don't have a diamond with which to cast it.
I think the abbot does, is what I'm saying. So if we kill him, we can take his.
Oh, so so now you're prepared to go downstairs and fuck this guy up, are you?
I
Now that
wanna
we've
get
lost
that
two
sword.
party members.
I mean, I didn't exactly think we'd stumble across a bunch of shadows and get gangbanged,
I know. I'm sorry. I'm
but
just frustrated. I don't mean to
I-
take it out on you.
that was out of character.
No, yeah, no, I know. I think we got lost in translation there, but that's all good.
Yeah.
But no, I think I'm just about ready to go down there and cut this fucker's head off and put it on one of the guard towers.
Caw, caw. You hear a raven coming from the room next door. Caw.
Oh, fuck's sake.
Anton uses his universal speech thing on it. Says, "What do you want?"
Like you're just yelling through the room, through the wall, or do you open the door?
I'm gonna open the next door.
Yeah, opens it up.
Alright, so looking into the next room, which is marked morgue, you discover a morgue. There is a raven perched on the windowsill of an otherwise empty room. Caw, caw, says the raven. Caw. And it looks like it's going to fly away.
Can I run to the
Anton.
window and look where it's going?
It flies down to the garden and lands on a particular scarecrow.
A one with a sackcloth grin.
It's got a potato sack for a head, and it's smiling.
I know
How
the
far
one
away
we
is it?
need.
A couple of 100 feet.
Let me see what the range on this crossbow.
Were you gonna shoot the fucking crow?
No, I'm gonna shoot the fucking scarecrow.
I was gonna say. Rude dude.
I learned that lesson from Dukovich.
Mhm. One of many.
Yeah, probably using Dukovich's crossbow actually. Anton's going to first of all wave the crossbow so the raven can see he's about to shoot with it.
Alright, the crossbow gets out of the way, thus preventing.
Oof.
Pretty
Fuck.
savage.
Jesus.
I reckon, right? Like, that's a serious curse, that one.
Did
Fuck.
that happen to Dukovich?
No, I
It
don't think
didn't.
did.
It didn't. No, they must be lenient at the start. They don't, they don't punish you too much. But if you haven't learned by now that you shouldn't be killing ravens, then fuck you, buddy. We're gonna teach you.
Dear God. Anyway. Yeah, so Anton's gonna shoot the scarecrow.
Yeah, no worries. Make an attack roll. It's a long range, but he's not going anywhere.
Oh,
You get a +1 as well, so that's 25.
That's magic.
There you
All right. Oh, I did this the wrong way round, didn't I?
That's alright.
I did it the wrong way round. In this room, you find the sword, and it's the crossbow that shoots into the book. And when you hit the scarecrow, it would tear it apart, split its belly open, and you see this massive book sagging in its guts. But what you've actually found here is the other way around.
Maybe it's because we went to the cheap fortune teller instead of Madame Eva.
It could be.
A discount foretelling.
That might
Look,
be
I don't
what it
exactly
is.
know what's where, but I know where they are.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter if you get them all right.
No, that's it.
It's magic shit, alright? You don't want to know where it is or not.
Precisely.
That's
Oh, so let me find this this sword. Where is that? The sun sword. There it is.
So, Dan, we rolled for 2 artifacts to be in basically the same place.
That's
You
great.
did. Absolutely did.
Sun sword. Is it a blade
It
that
is a
lights up,
blade.
or is it a hilt and then lightsabers out?
Sun sword is a unique blade, and its original form had a platinum hilt and guard, and a thin crystal blade as strong as steel. Yeah, so it's a blade made of pure sunlight, crystalline sunlight, much like much like the sort of plastic toys that you might find in supermarkets, like a glass sword that lights up with brilliant radiant light.
Is there a sheath for it?
There would be.
Okay, thank God.
Does anyone know how to tell what this does?
Yeah, are we supposed to be able to see what it does? Because we don't have the text.
No, I guess you're not. Like I was gonna like share it, but story to it, so it probably requires an identify spell at least.
Yeah, sorry guys. you one magic item experts go on.
Yeah.
What
that
type of
sucks.
sword is it? Longsword?
I believe that it doesn't actually say it here, but yeah, it says all the properties of Sunblade, and Sunblades can be used as longswords or short.
Cool, I guess.
Yeah, they're ridiculous.
So it's both simple and martial in terms of gaining the proficiency bonus.
Short swords are martial as well.
Oh, okay.
But if you have like, let's say you're a monk, and monks have because
Yeah.
it's a short sword. So it can be a finesse weapon or a strength weapon, as you prefer.
Yeah, okay.
Would you like me to hold on to this?
Yeah, I think so. I would have liked Sven to have held it, but I mean, there's not much for it now. So, Vorig, pat you on the shoulder. You wield a weapon of great power now.
Do you intend to attune to this weapon to bond to it?
When I get the chance.
You get the chance immediately.
Oh shit. Alright, sure.
What do you mean to do with me? The sword asks you. It doesn't. It's communicating telepathically, or rather emotionally. Yeah.
I guess I'm taken aback a little bit. Then I just think shove you through the heart of Strahd.
Then you have found my special purpose. Together we will destroy Strahd. We will free the land of but that shall be coincidental. I want my revenge.
Are you Sergei's blade?
I am.
Oh wait, we didn't get the book yet.
Yeah, good point. But you can maybe ask it.
We know who we've heard the name Sergey. We know Strahd hates him, and he hates Strahd. I think.
Good point. I was Sergei's blade, but I was dismantled by a wizard named Kazan. Strahd attempted to corrupt me, but I have held on to my original purpose, and I dream of the day when I am driven through his evil blackened heart.
We'll have a good relationship then.
Right. The Sun Sword imparts upon you its abilities.
Yeah, that's a true. Da-na-na-na.
It's dangerous to go alone. Take this.
And Sun
After
Sword.
killing 2 members of your party.
Okay. In its original form. Okay. Destroy the weapon. Okay.
You probably need to know what a Sunblade does.
Yeah, I'm still reading through Sentience. Sentient chaotic good. Oh, we share our alignment. Intelligence of 11, 17 whiz, 16 charisma. Hearing and normal vision. Communicate. Transmitting emotions to the creature carrying or emitting it. Oh, okay, or wielding it. Cool. He really just wants
I assume
revenge.
It counts as sunlight for the purposes of like fucking on vampires, right?
Yeah, it says the word sunlight. Yeah.
Can you use the bonus action to make the blade to cause the blade of pure radiance to spring into
Oh,
existence,
there it is.
or make the blade disappear? So it is just a hilt normally.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
it's a lightsaber.
Yeah, okay. While the blade exists, the magic
Yeah.
longsword has the finesse property. If you are proficient with swords and longswords, you're proficient with the sun blade. Get a +2 to attack and damage rolls, or which deals radiant damage instead of slashing damage. When you hit an undead with it, the target takes an extra 1d8 radiant damage. The sword's luminous blade emits bright light in a 15-foot radius and dim light for an additional 15 feet. The light is sunlight. There we go, the light is sunlight.
Sunlight.
While the blade persists, you can use an action to expand or reduce its radius of bright light or dim light by 5 feet each to a maximum of 30 feet or a minimum of 10 feet each. And that doesn't have a time? And you can just have it going at all times? Sick.
It's hard to sheath it. But...
You should have turned it
No,
off.
I mean as in
Switch
the
off
I mean as,
You
yeah, I
try to
meant
put
as
it in your
in,
sheath, but there's no blade to put in your sheath.
yeah. Just strap it to my belt. Tuck it underneath my beard.
Yeah, sneak it into places.
That's the bag of holding, just the dwarf's beard.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, imagine storing a bag of holding in a dwarf's beard. I'll never find it. Sneak
I'm
whatever you want
curious.
into a place.
So
Does
much.
anybody in the party have an intelligence of me actually? This blade's smarter than me.
It's definitely smarter than Elenware.
Smart sword, tell you that much.
I think
Yeah,
is the
this sword
sword
could beat
smarter
most
than
of us
everyone?
at chess.
Oh, it's only 11.
I'm 10.
intelligence 11. Are we all 10?
I'm 8. Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, smartest guy on the party's currently dead, so.
Smartest guy in the party is currently a hilt.
Yeah. Fuck.
The party brains is what this is the fucking
Sunsword, what do we do? What do we do? Where do we go?
Kill Strahd.
Good idea.
That's brilliant.
Wow, he fucking got it. Got it in one. What a champion. Okay, I have a sun sword now. Holy shit. Sunblade.
My intelligence was 16. So I was equal intelligence with the sword, I think, wasn't it?
11.
11.
Alan.
It has
11.
11.
It
Oh,
has 17 wisdom and like
oh,
16
wisdom.
charisma.
Right.
Wow. Plus a D8 against undead.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, with this weapon in hand, I feel much better taking our chances with the fucking abbot.
I don't think we should try and deal with the abbot. Wait, you said he's like an angel or something, celestial?
No, I'm sorry, but we should rid this place of him and everything that he's doing here.
You think a sword of sunlight's gonna hurt a celestial?
You've got an axe, don't you?
I do.
Then don't use the sun sword. But whatever that abbot's doing here, I mean, what abbot of the sun lets creatures that took the lives of Sven and Djukovic like exist within the walls? What is that?
I don't know.
I'm gonna mentally ask the sun sword what it thinks of the abbot. If it knows him at all.
No, it doesn't. It's not familiar with the abbot.
He may have been a good abbot once, and he may have been a good and holy being once. But I think whoever that is down there is, quite frankly, deranged and delusional.
Well, if you're gonna fight him, I'll join you, but
Perhaps we can appeal to his. You see, I'm worried. I'm more than happy to ask for the means to bring back Sven, and I would do so with Djukovic as well if I could. But I get the impression that the moment we mention the fact that these two have died, he's going to try to take the best parts for his bride for Strahd.
I look at the old wrinkled body of Sven.
Part of me thinks he may do that.
I mean, we've seen
Perhaps,
you saw the
naive and optimistic.
I'll have you know, Sven had really good eyes. Like he would have been frequently seeing things in the distance that you haven't even noticed. Warlock Devil Sight.
The abbot certainly didn't seem violent or anything. Like he sent people out to steal bodies, but he didn't do it by force. He just tried to steal them. You know, I don't think he just actively tried to cut up our party members.
I'm gonna pick up old Sven and throw him over my shoulders, like fireman carry.
Yeah. Perhaps I have an idea, says Esmeralda. I should tell you what I am doing here. It has been a long road for me. A very long road. Perhaps you think I am a fool, but I intend to kill Strahd myself. You see, I was hoping to use the abbot as a bait. The bride as a lure. Strahd comes here sometimes to visit the abbot, They have some sort of congress. The abbot told me so. He comes in the form of a different. I do not know if the abbot knows it is Strahd or not. It does not matter. But I know this disguise that Strahd wears. He will come again. That is my thinking. And thus I have holed myself up here in this abbey, waiting for the moment comes, because I am afraid to fight him in his home territory of Castle Ravenloft. You cannot fight this creature. It is very strong. I think this abbot, magical. I think maybe when you are with the old warrior and with your engineer, perhaps you have a chance. But you are weakened now, and even with your new magic sword, I think it is unwise to risk it. Instead, allow me to. Well, I have heard that an old friend of mine has come back to Barovia, a very famous vampire hunter, the most famous in the world. He is an expert on countless topics, not just vampires and werewolves, but liches and ghosts and all manner of things of the darkness. Have you ever heard of Rudolf van Richten?
No.
I can't say that I have.
Dr. Rudolf van Richten. He is the most famous vampire hunter in the world. I have heard he is coming to Barovia. There is a great event going on. May be the reason that you are here. Why the world pulled you in, why the mist brought you here. An event called the Grand Conjunction, which is an alignment of worlds, not just this world and your world, but a thousand worlds across the universe. All the boundaries between them, all fading away, land being exchanged from one planet to another. And within this grand conjunction, Dr. Rudolf van Richten, he has come here to Barovia to kill Strahd while he is weakened, or so I have heard. I was going to follow up on the rumors, but I had my position strong here now, and I did not want to go to all this effort only to lose it on a thought. But now with you here, if you would permit me, I would like to accompany you. You know that I have seen your fortune, and I know your destiny is to kill Strahd, as is mine. Let us team up together. Let us go and find Dr. Van Richten, and together we can end the life of Strahd together.
I think we could use all the help we can get.
Concurred.
I have
Richten.
explosives in a secret hidden tower beside a lake nearby. We will go there. It is Van Richten's old tower. I tracked him to it. Perhaps he will come back there. Perhaps we can wait for him there.
Aye, we saw the tower on the way here. It was lit up.
Yeah, it was the carnival man's
That was-
caravan, right? Was parked out the front.
I
Rictavios. Yeah.
do not know anything about this carnival.
Did we ever figure out exactly what Rictavia was doing in Barovia?
I don't
Because
think
this
I
is a
can get
fucked up
out.
place to take a carnival.
What are we doing in Barovia?
Mm.
We seem to be an oddity here, though. Then again, so did Rictavia. I think we may have met the man you're talking about.
Really? He may be
No,
traveling in disguise
Quite possibly, if he's here to kill Strahd.
for his own safety. Van Richten is a famous scholar. He literally wrote the book Van Richten's Guide to Killing Vampires.
I thought you were about to say Vendrickton's Guide to Killing Strahd. Like he wrote an entire book just specifically on
That'd
how
be a
to kill
great one.
This is what I would do. Page 374. So after getting past the red dragons,
Look out for the gargoyles.
Once you stick him in the heart,
that's the
that seems like a good idea. Getting more allies certainly couldn't hurt. Especially since we're now a bit short-handed. And his gaze kind of moves over to where Dukovich is again and shakes himself out of it.
Let's go.
Meanwhile,
Pick up.
Vorig hides the hands in his bag. He's not short-handed. Sorry.
He is short, but he has many hands.
Well, I'm still all for asking this abbot for the means to try to bring Sven back, but I don't know if I can help Jukovic. So
Why not?
I believe the time has passed before we could.
Yeah.
You gentle reposed him, didn't you?
I only did
Got
Sven.
Sven,
Yeah.
not Jukovic.
Is that concentration or something?
Nope.
No, I didn't. Kind of like didn't pop. Yeah, pop up until thing. I didn't even think of it straight away.
Oh, like Anton. I mean, I don't want to metagame, but like that, I thought that was assumed. Otherwise, Anton would have made a point of that.
of doing
Like,
what?
hey, you know, gentle
Casting
repose
gentle
the other guy
repose on
before
both the
you're not
people.
able to resurrect.
It would be fine if as long as you got the spells. You did have the
I've
opportunity.
still got the spell slots. Yeah.
Yeah, so you can just if it's just player oversight, then absolutely you can gentle repose the both of them.
Cool.
Whether it matters or not.
I'm just carrying Sven along. I'm gonna go pick up the book.
I'll grab Jukovic, and in the same fashion, fire him and grab him and kind of throw him over.
How high is
shoulder.
the wall to the ground?
It's on the second story and it is a castle. Probably pretty high.
Pretty
About 30.
big.
I don't rightly want to walk down in front of the abbey with my dead friends.
There is hollering coming from these stairs. So there's a set of stairs down. It's just that
Yeah.
countless creatures are yipping down there.
Anton, they seem to be like placated with music. Do you want to play something for them while we go through?
I wouldn't call that a reaction to the bells placated.
No. When we walked into the
the
courtyard,
baby?
the man-child, frickin', the Etten, the mini Etten,
I'll give it a shot.
played the music for them. We can just, stand up here while you play music and see if the hollering stops.
Anton sighs like he's really not in a mood to play his fucking fiddle right now, but he digs it out and tries to just play something like a lullaby, basically.
All going on at the same time.
This isn't working.
Well, alright. I'll leave.
I'll go ask the abbot. Perhaps I can take a Linway with me and see if he has the materials he's willing to lend to revive our friends, and if not, if we could bargain for them, perhaps.
I'm just about prepared to tell this abbot anything that he wants to hear to get what we need to bring our friends back.
I will lie, cheat, and steal.
A wedding gown is a small price to pay.
Did he?
Yeah,
I heard him
for
say something about a
600
wedding
gold.
gown at the end, but I don't.
Yeah,
What did he say?
he wanted us to get a wedding dress for the bride of Strahd that he's making.
Oh, where from?
Just
Anyway, he
yeah.
just said, "Get me one."
Oh,
You don't have one? Don't, look in your bag. You mind look in your equipment list.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Vistani stowed one on me on the first night. That jokes. Of a hangman's noose.
Isn't that fine clothing I took off the bridge? Fine clothing, torn and bloody.
Yeah.
How
It had
nice.
had fur and feathers in there.
Yeah.
Mm.
Fur and feathers.
Yeah, the fur. Now that you've been here long enough in this realm, that you can probably, you get them out again. You can identify them now. You were inexperienced back then. You're not. It's wolf fur and raven feathers. They're big raven feathers, though, like way too big for any raven that you've seen so far.
A giant raven attacked a werewolf.
Yep. Or they were clothes discarded by someone who was about to either wear wolf or wear raven.
I'm gonna leave. I'm gonna prop Sven's body on the what's this little counter thing?
Yeah, absolutely.
Whatever's left of it. And just peek down the stairs.
Roger. You're looking down into a lightless corridor with multiple doors behind it. You can see, through, or maybe you can't see through the doors. Maybe you hear mad cackles, whispered curses, and somewhere within it, it sounds like someone's casting a spell. Like there's a ritual. Oh, galabong, 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 all going on, chanting from several voices all at once, but you don't even really see or hear anything so much as smell it. This place is the worst stables you have ever come across.
Human stables.
And then you see a shadow, vaguely humanoid, like some great ogre. You see a lumbering figure walk in your direction and then turn around and go back the other way like some patrolling and very dedicated half giant.
Well, don't rightly want to go down there.
Could we quickly get a pair of character sheets, Arctic? We've just had probably the most ridiculous idea.
I hope that you're both going to be like, you're going to burst out of.
Hang on, I'll DM you. I'll
I have a
DM
better
you
idea
what
for
we
the
just
race.
came to.
We're gonna be in the middle of fighting Strahd, and like all of a sudden Dukovich and Old Sven are gonna like swing through the windows on a rope.
It's
like, da-da-da-da.
yeah. We'll find someone called Nevs and like Kivo Cod.
There's one for Sven, and I'll make one for Djukovic underneath it.
It's gonna be like some sort of what's that Arnold Schwarzenegger movie with him and Danny DeVito, I think it is.
Twins or something like that.
It's gonna be some shit like that.
I forget what that's called.
I think it is
It's
literally
called Twins. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
What? I haven't seen that. What is it?
Oh,
about
it's
twins.
just the most ridiculous movie.
Like
It's
they
about
genetically engineer these two kids, and they give all the genes to the other because why not?
Oh, I think I have seen the cover of that. Yeah.
I think that maybe it's just coincidence, but in any case, one gets
They
the
get
good
split
ones
up.
and the other gets the bad one.
Yeah.
and Danny DeVito is like a criminal and Arnold Schwarzenegger is like I don't know, can't remember.
Some shit,
Fraternal
some
twins,
perfect thing.
Separated at birth. Is told they're dead. Street hustler.
It's gonna be that. You're
Raised
gonna
by
have
a
like a
son.
half orc and a gnome, and they're gonna be twins at birth.
It's a pretty funny movie actually. Anyway, yeah. So what shall we do? Asked Esmeralda. I have emeralds. I do not have any diamonds. Well,
Anton's making his way back towards the abbot.
all right.
He basically,
We're gonna
I'm with Anton.
wait for Anton's return, I guess.
Yeah, I'll go with him to try and see if they'll cooperate.
Yeah, when he turns and sees a Linway falling, he's like, "Thanks."
No, it's okay. I wouldn't send anyone
I
alone to
fucking
talk
hate
to
this
him.
place.
I know. Me too.
Just remember, I think our best weapon here is that the abbot thinks he's a good guy.
I think I'll let you do the talking because I'm just about ready to send him back to wherever he came from. So,
As am I, but as a cleric of the sun, I can understand why you feel that way.
mm,
Yeah, Anton's gonna keep going downstairs.
All right. I'll like a pair of ghosts. I'm going to bring Sven and Djukovic in just so that they can watch the proceedings. They'll be like two just standing in the corner.
Well,
Thank
you
God
did
that
say
they
we
paint
could
Please
have ghosts
follow
that
us
are
around
stuck
the rest
here.
of the game.
So yeah, we'd watch over you.
being haunted.
That's right.
Ooh, that would
Haunted,
be a fun
watch
way to do
over.
it.
Yeah.
What's that?
Anytime a PC dies, they become a ghost and haunt the party.
What's that like? I don't know. It was like Homebrew or something. The Wraith character uh thing. The Wraith race, technically. Comeback is that.
All right. So we're going back down the stairs as a group.
I think it's just me and Elenway.
Oh, is it? Where's Morel?
Yeah, we didn't want to drag our corpses down there.
Oh, can we move him above though at least so we can hear what they're talking about?
Yeah, sure.
I don't want to like bring the bodies right in front of the abbot. But
Yeah,
I'll
good call.
get out of the morgue. Get out of the shadow room at least.
I mean, morgue would probably be a decent place to leave them, you know?
Dead
Yeah,
bodies
that's
in a morgue,
a pretty logical place.
hiding trees in a forest.
Kind of think about why the fuck was there a morgue in an abbey?
It is empty though.
Yeah, but it had a sign on it that said morgue.
There was one other door that we didn't go through, but could be more ghosts. So what's the point?
It was nursery, morgue, and something else.
Yeah, it was.
Waiting
Right.
room. No.
No, I can't see what it is. Operating theater.
Operating room, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, if they were doing medicine here, that might
Smooth
explain.
operator.
yeah, that's why they had the morgue. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Anton's gonna come back down the stairs, like hat in hand, just wide-eyed, and look at the abbot and say, Abbot, there's bit of an incident.
What is troubling you, child?
I'm not entirely sure what just happened, but some phantoms, I believe, just killed two of our number.
Oh, I should have accompanied you. I should have been with you while you toured the Abbey of Saint Markovia. Saint Markovia.
Our cleric Elenway here has knowledge of a spell that could restore them, but she lacks the materials. You seem to be capable of doing it yourself, and while I would not ask that of you, is you mentioned that before that you wished us to acquire a wedding dress for you, correct?
Yes, I need it for the bride of Strahd.
If we acquired one for you, would you have he turns to Llewellyn and he says, "You need 2 diamonds, correct?"
I call upon you as a man of the same cloth. A holy man, a celestial being, I pray to the sun and to the moon that you will help us. I require 2 diamonds, with which I will use to bring my friends back. And should you part with these things, if you have them, then we will help you, and we will do what we can to dress this bride of Strahd appropriately for whatever ends you desire.
Your prayers have been answered. Bring me your dead.
With all due respect, Abbot, I would perform the ritual myself.
You do not want my help.
Of course, I require your help. I
She
have not
is
the
our
I have not the materials, but I assure you, I'm sure you understand the attachment that I have to these, my friends.
she is our woodland cleric, you see.
I have no material. I shall not use diamonds.
Then how do you mean to restore them to life?
With the light of the sun. Light of the
Am I aware? Am I aware of any spell or ritual that doesn't require diamonds?
sun. So you can make a religion check, I suppose.
Yeah.
Wish.
Yeah. No.
Not to your knowledge.
Yeah.
Seems legit.
Bring me your dead. They are heroes here to lift the curse of straw.
Restoring someone with the light, I have to ask, is that what you did to the young lady here?
Nay, she is a creature of perfection. You are not creatures of perfection. I merely seek to restore them as they were with all their flaws.
Hmm.
And what about these creatures around the abbey? Did you restore them?
He sighs like an orb that is being released of all the pressure and all the keys and at once. The Belleviews came to me. They were very sick. They were suffering from leprosy. But they came to the Abbey seeking salvation. They wanted me to banish their diseases. I could only do so much. They were eternally grateful, but I could not cure them of their human defects that were in their blood, that were a result of incestuous relationships. But I thought I could cure them. I became obsessed with the desire to purify the Belleviews of their imperfections. But they wanted so much from me. They didn't want to be they wanted the eyes of a cat and wings to fly like a bat. They wanted the strength of a mule and the snake's guile. In short, they wanted to be bestial, and I yielded, though I fear I may have erred.
I see. I'll confer with my party members, and we'll see what course we wish to take.
The story does not end there. You see, I was still seeking a way to purify them, and the Bellevue, they wanted these powers. A man visited me from Barovia. The Duke Vasily von Holst came to the abbey. He was a sinister man, I could feel it in my heart. But he wanted to help, and he told me that if I sought out the Amber Temple, I would find the secrets. I found the Amber Temple, and within the Amber Temple, I found the spell to transform the Bellevue into the creature you see now. They are happy, though a little mad.
We appreciate the fact that you are prepared to help. And
Indeed, we do.
I'm sure you understand the need for us to talk amongst ourselves before we accept.
Of course. But if you want your friends to live, then you must bring me your dead.
Understood.
Thank you. And Anton will, as politely as he can, back away from the madman.
As you do, Vasilika watches you with unblinking eyes, twisting and contorting to keep you in view.
Fuck, that's unsettling, and I can't do it.
I know.
So
Props, by the way, for singing the dialogue.
No shit, hey, it's great. Even the little
Before-
harmony at the top.
Yeah, like there was progression, build up, like
And then-
it was solid.
And then you even switch out to the other guy in the corner to
Yeah.
do like the whole backup singing. Yeah.
So before they attempt to resurrect Arctic, I'm gonna DM you the idea
Yeah.
we've come up with, and then
Yeah.
I'll leave the thought of whether the resurrection works entirely in your hands. Because
Yeah.
these characters are.
I was
I'm
about to
happy
ask
with
out of
either way.
character, do you guys want us to resurrect you?
Yeah.
Because apparently it's an option.
Well, I mean,
Well, it's something we can attempt. Something tells me this is gonna go horribly fucking wrong.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I feel
low
like
life
because
for me.
we were killed by those shades, I'm pretty sure we come back as shades somehow.
I
But
think-
mean, I'm not sure.
I think
Gentle repose.
I think, yeah, repose stops that.
Sunday.
Oh, it does.
10 days.
okay. I mean, I don't know. What do you reckon?
Yeah, a shadow isn't like an undead thing. It's like it's something that spawns from a corpse, but like, I mean, obviously it's up to interpretation. But like, I don't think it actually does anything to a body. It's just if something is killed by a shadow, a new shadow pops out later.
Right.
Yeah, new shadow rises from the corpse.
No, I like the idea of
24 hours later.
letting Arctic decide whether it passes or fails. Because I mean, I don't mind playing either one. I love both characters. Like, at the same time, when you do die like this, I don't know. I kind of feel like it feels like it's cheapening the experience of the whole death thing when it's like 10 minutes later you're brought back.
Yeah,
Well, I mean,
but
you
like
did happen to die in an abbey with an
in
angel.
an abbey. Yeah,
Mm.
true. Very
it's
true.
all coincidence.
Yeah.
I missed
Yeah,
what was happening.
had the wolves eaten you out in the wilderness, like
Oh,
it might be a little,
death.
more justified for you to be dead. But like,
Dead, yeah.
we are in one situation where we could theoretically revive party members.
And it'd be.
I think.
I
the
mean,
only
there's-
second chance you get.
there's still the question of if the soul is able.
Oh
because
yeah,
the
because
gentle repose prevents. We'll see
Undeath.
what
It prevents
happens.
undeath. It doesn't
Yeah,
prevent.
we'll see what happens when you attempt to do this. But so yeah, I think those are the that's the character concept we've come up with.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, I'm perfectly fine for you to do anything. I guess should I just what I just told you, Penguin?
You
Would
may
that
as
make
well.
it easier? Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
may as
So this is something that I've been waiting for, right? The way I figured it, like we'd either have a TP, or you'd die one at a time, which is much more likely. And when you die one at a time here, I mentioned earlier that during the monologue that these guys don't go to heaven and they don't go to hell. They are stuck here.
Mm.
It's fucked. You are stuck here. You will wander Ravenloft forever. It doesn't matter how many times you die. Look at, I mean, I don't want to reveal what has already been revealed, but you don't leave Ravenloft. Death is no escape. So you might raise from the dead and wander this area, such as those skeletons Silver Dragon Order are doing. You might go on to become Sven and Djukovic, seeking revenge eternally on Strahd. It might be that only your soul rises up as a shadow and you're left haunting that one room forever, never going anywhere. Or it might be that your soul wanders through the mist and eventually just wanders back into Barovia in the flesh. All of these are entirely possible and many more things. But one thing that is impossible is rest. No matter what happens, death is no escape. So you can bring in new characters by all means, But Sven and Djukovic will still be trapped in Barovia somewhere.
Whatever.
Should have all brought phylacteries.
Yeah, that's no, that's good. Lawful good technology right there.
I mean,
Honestly, with
there
the
is no
fucking
morality
Darwin,
in putting your
good
soul
out.
in a jar.
Yeah, I guess.
It's morality to put other people's souls in a jar.
True.
So the
So,
choice is yours, and I have no suggestion or preference.
Yeah, so it's I guess ultimately up to you as players, hey.
Yeah.
So whatever you want to do, it's cool.
Just know I hate you forever.
Mm.
No pressure. No jokes.
I kind of don't want to jump straight into a character that's just died, like getting up on the spot, because I feel like that'd be a bit.
Yeah, I don't know. It feels weird because I just did that whole dramatic, survive.
I mean, admittedly,
note.
Djukovic, I kind of feel bad for pointing this out after the fact, but I think you might have supposed to have survived that encounter because,
Oh,
like, you basically die by one missed attack, correct?
sorry.
Like, you died because, like, one of your shots missed, right? Like your last shot did.
He had one strength left.
One shot missed. It was a 10 instead of a 26. Yeah.
Yeah, you were supposed to. I gave you a bardic inspiration die and forgot about it.
Oh, that is true.
Theoretically, if we'd been running right, you might have survived that. So, free resurrection mulligan, I might take it.
That's in another world.
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of cheesy. But it's just because like we've already roleplayed the whole said goodbye, gave the note, did the whole emotional
Up to you.
goodbye. It's I don't think I feel comfortable jumping back in to him.
Plus, I really like the new character concept.
Yeah, it'd be pretty funny.
A couple of hot and spicy memes coming our way, huh?
Oh.
Fucking hell.
Nah, I'm gonna go with the new one.
All right, negative go around.
Sure. Yeah, whatever you guys want. They're your characters, so that's cool.
Yeah. Maybe one day he'll
Alright.
eventually walk
Permanent,
again, but
baby.
not today.
We're playing Iron Man mode, motherfuckers.
Fuck yeah.
Alright, yeah. So we basically get back upstairs, and Tom turns and he says, "I'm not letting that abbot touch Dukovic or Sven."
I think so. So yeah, okay. Let's we should then try and arrange proper burials and such. I know Min can, well, you can shape the earth.
Yeah. I can dig the hole.
Then let's get out of here and put them to rest.
Yeah,
Alright.
Anton's gonna rip a page out of his notebook, actually 2 pages, and scribble on both of them in like faking different handwriting. I don't want to be resurrected, Dukovic. I don't want to be resurrected, Sven. And tuck them in his pocket, just in case the abbot asks.
I leave in my will. I would like to be
Cremated.
cremated.
Let me die.
I hate this place. Please.
Honestly, that's probably some shit you have to include in your will in a D&D universe, like of a certain high magic tier. Just like, look, let me die.
That's it.
I realize this is the meat, but
Sven,
let me die.
Sven's been trying to get himself killed in battle for something like 50 years now,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, that was the whole thing. Like, Sven was basically like just ready to die in battle at any second. Dukovic, though, man, Dukovic.
You're
No,
such
apparently
a
he
young
was prepared for it too.
How he got
Apparently he was.
he was very scared. He was constantly scared the whole way through that. He knew he wasn't gonna, like, if he was alone, there was no way he was gonna survive. And like in a group like that, he had a good chance, but like he wasn't a fighter. He was an inventor, and he just happened to be able to fight because he invented. So
Just so
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, I'm an
Vorag has no
archanger,
plans to
happens be able
die
to
soon.
fight.
he didn't plan to die. He just knew it was a logical conclusion to come to, given the state he was in.
Vorag has neither prepared nor planned.
One thing's for sure though, I am now very eager to get my hands on some diamonds.
And I'm eager to get my hands on that book about the scarecrow.
Let's go and grab that
Indeed.
then and bury these two. Where should we bury them? Here. I don't want to bury them here. Oh, this is gonna be so
Well, I
difficult.
don't know. You are a cleric of the sun. Is this still consecrated ground?
This is like above the mists, probably the only place you'll ever see the sun.
I think despite the fact that these abominations have manifested themselves here, it is still a church, and it is still an abbey for the sun and its worship. So I think here is perhaps as good a place as ever to bury them, but maybe we should bury them
Actually,
in the garden.
it occurs to me there is someone nearby with a grave robbing habit.
We leave them.
Maybe this isn't the best place to bury 2 people.
I'm sure we can just ask for, the word or some shit.
Yeah, let's just cremate them or something.
Cremation is also good.
Throw them into the sun.
From fire to fire.
Alright, so you fold the burdens and prepare to take your dead out into the overcast sunlight.
Bring out your dead.
Bring out your dead.
Anything
Would you be
important
like, I'm not
to our plight on these 2 fellow compatriots?
Like as in any gear do you mean?
Is any important stuff that you guys had? Anything?
All the money.
I had how much gold? 15 gold on me. You can take that. I had that lock that only unlocks with blood, if you want to take that. My Maker's Mark chisel, not really useful now. Vial of troll blood.
How'd you get that? Oh yeah, at the
I
start.
don't know. Yeah. Oh, at the very start, the very first thing
First
we
mission, we
killed.
killed the troll.
Yeah.
Got 1 last day of rations, hempen rope, 50 feet. It's about the best things I've got. Oh, and my 2 hand crossbows, if you want to take them. I mean, one was already taken, I guess, because that's still magical for 3 days, and the other one is there.
Did Sven have anything important on him as well?
Nothing important, just 10 gold and a greater healing potion.
Nothing important, just a greater healing potion.
Yeah, those
Just an item that could have saved my life.
Well, no,
those
it was the strength drain that killed him.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Well, I think he got unconscious and auto hit. Is the problem.
Well, good point.
Strength,
Oh, yeah, true.
strength drain is a pretty
You're right,
brutal.
actually. Mm.
Yeah, that
The
one.
many-handed pouch is also active for only 3 days, starting from my death.
That's enough time to kill Strahd.
Yeah.
I think so.
We
We
put
have to rush, but you'll get there. in
yeah,
3
we
days.
put the hilt in the bag. Hand one to Strahd. Hey, say here's a present. He opens it, and the blade comes out with someone else's hand.
His arm.
Surprise, bitch!
Surprise, motherfucker.
Reminds me of Dr. Hibbert, like looking through the mirror and then like punching Homer in the fucking head.
We're gonna like face off against Strahd, and he's also gonna pull out a lightsaber. And we're like, I see your Schwartz is as big as
Jewel of the Fates plays in the distance. Like,
How did they not write that into this campaign? That's so.
Locks.
You have the power of the DM on your
Lock's
side,
eyes.
Arctic. You can change whatever you wish.
Locks eyes with Vorig. No, I am your father.
And he reveals his true self. Yeah.
Strahd as a dwarf.
It's just perspective every time.
Strahd comes
Think
out
about
with like,
that fact that, like, theoretically, Strahd could have been like a dwarf vampire. Like,
The
he's
funniest thing to
Dracula,
me
but he
is
just happens to be a dwarf.
yeah, dwarf vampires are the funniest thing to me.
I want to drink your blood, and then he gets out like a step ladder.
Would you mind getting drunk first?
I can only. That's the only way I can drink alcohol. I see your
You leave your
Schwartz is as
window
big as
open, you just
mine.
hear. You see this like fat ass dwarf trying to climb through your window.
My love.
Please, can I come in? No, tonk, like an axe just embeds in your doorway.
Instead of throwing like little pebbles at your window to grab your
Sounds like
attention,
an
just throwing
invitation to
axes.
me. Tonk, tonk, tonk.
I could just imagine the Shrek movie, Lord Farquaad.
mm.
He's riding up on the horse with the fake leg.
He's
He
a
jumps
halfling.
off and he's like really short.
Yeah.
That's more like halfling vampire.
Yeah.
How unintimidating.
Alright.
Wait, that's Anton's character arc.
Halfling vampire.
He's already tasted flesh.
True.
He has.
Yeah, he's
And
hungry for
does
it.
he have a hankering for it?
No, he does not.
If we don't get alcohol
Well,
for
actually,
him
he was
soon,
jonesing for a while, but
yeah. If we don't get some alcohol for him too, he might go back and grab some more Pop Tarts.
I might have to be honest. Like, I'm
Mm.
gonna take another level of exhaustion if I can't get some booze tonight.
Well,
Maybe this place
to
has
the
some
Wizard
booze.
of Wine.
Maybe that's our next stop.
Yeah.
Maybe
Yeah,
this
I mean,
place has
Anton's
booze.
not going to be down for an excursion to go get shit faced after losing 2 friends.
He's not going to be down to get shit faced.
He is going to be down.
Okay, I was gonna say.
I think we're all down next session to just booze it up.
Alright.
Since we're there, I feel like feel the need to mention what we're going to be playing. Do you want to hide it or?
Nah, keep the
Let's
review for
hide
next week. Yeah, don't.
let's hide
Nah, that's
let's
it.
hide it.
it's
Let's
such
say what we are next week.
Yeah.
We're just gonna play, and it'll kind of just happen.
Other races.
It'll be funny.
Other races a spoiler?
Races?
Is there anything you can? Is
Sort
there
of.
anything you can say that's not a spoiler to the party to the character composition?
Well,
What?
the big kicker is kind of what's being done with the characters, but the
Yeah.
non-spoiling thing would be a pair of brothers, human appearing, possibly human, possibly not. But it's more to
very
do
much
with
twins.
yeah, it's more to do with the classes and the character design.
Yeah, behind it. It's funny.
Quick, everyone, does anyone know any twin brothers tropes?
No, my first thought was like double Sun Soul monks, like Goku and Vegeta or something, but
I love Sun Soul
That'd be
monks.
crazy too.
But,
no, that's not.
but I
That's
don't.
not it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Two
that was a really good
illusionist
idea off the
wizards.
bat you had.
That was my
Could just
first
pretend
thought.
to be
Like,
each other.
What are they from,
Yeah.
Arctic?
That's the
Dragonlance.
Dragonlance. Yeah.
Ah,
Riceland and someone who's less cool, I think.
Riceland.
what a name.
Riceland.
Riceland and Yogurtland.
Yeah, they're brothers of Timberland.
Riceland and his
fuck.
fucking Chad brother. That's basically the plot of the books.
Are you Tweedledum and Tweedledee?
Hansel and Gretel. No, I don't know. I'll be guessing all week.
Right.
If
So
we
the
guess,
top-
will you confirm it?
No, probably not. I don't think you'll guess
Asshole.
it, but
they won't guess it.
no, it's pretty
Alright.
random.
Sands of Papyrus?
I don't think you'll even. I don't think you'll even get it when the characters are introduced because we won't mention what they are. And then when the first combat happens, it's just going to be like, "What the fuck?"
Okay.
Something to do with combat techniques.
Oh well. No, so digging into it, I want it to be a surprise.
Okay.
I mean, let the curiosity eat at you, but yeah, let's not try and confirm or deny anything.
Alright, assholes.
So we finished this off. Will you be staying in the Abbey much longer?
Oh God, no.
So you're getting the book and then leaving?
Did we get the sword? Oh, we did get the sword. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have this
Yeah.
sword.
Oh, getting the book because that book's outside.
Yeah, in the snow.
Yeah.
My other concern when you guys were talking about resurrection is, I'm thinking, if you fucking resurrect Sven in the middle of this monastery and he wakes up with that fucking abbot standing over him,
The first thing
he's gonna
gonna
grab
kill
the
him.
nearest sword and drive it through his chest.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny.
Die again.
Nestled
Like
between
waking up in
rising
underground.
and plunging cliffs are 4 rectangular gardens enclosed by a 5-foot-high wall of mortared stones. White rabbits nibble on turnips uprooted. 2 lifeless scarecrows with stuffed gullets and sackcloth heads hanging from wooden crosses pounded in the cold, hard earth. There is a raven perched atop one of the crows.
One of the crows.
One of the scarecrows.
Oh right, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not doing its job then, is it?
Not really.
Yeah.
You can see an arrow. An arrow has busted open this thing's gut, and a big book, the Tome of Strahd, is hanging half out of the stitching.
Alright, if that fucking scarecrow comes alive and attacks me, then you know what to do. And I'll go and pick up the book.
You grab the book and remove it, and as you do, the straw falls out of the scarecrow's gut, and it's the prop that is holding it up, and as it tilts towards you, the sackcloth head falls off, and the crow flies away, and the ground bursts open from all around of the garden, and clawed hands with writhed and wrinkled flesh burst out, and the living dead crawl their way to the surface.
Fuck's sake.
Here we
Antonio's
go.
Linway, the holy symbol.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah, that could
I
be
imagine,
remember that when we were
imagine it's
fighting
like I'm in
Shadow.
the middle of the room, like in the garden, and everyone's like near the edge of the garden.
Yeah, you can put yourselves down up here in the garden somewhere, and that's where we'll begin next week.
I would be right in front of the thing, wouldn't I?
The new characters can be somewhere up here on the ledge and can just like leap over the the wall and cause chaos.
Where's
Which
that?
scarecrow is it?
It's this one here.
Yeah, okay, so I'm right in front of the right one.
Yeah.
Cool. Lucky I got a sunblade to deal with these fools.
You
I'm
get,
gonna head
you
off.
get to try out your new toy.
Yeah.
Alright.
Thanks for the
Yeah,
game.
Yeah, good session, guys. That was
Got
sick.
call here tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, good shit.
Oh.
Even though two of us
Yeah,
died.
fuck.
God damn.
My
I
god,
mean, to be fair, we lasted a
Yeah,
while.
that went from
without dying.
completely fine to like
gritty
just
as like.
awful
Mm.
very quickly.
See you next week for the Curse of Strahd.
Alright,
Fucking Arctic singing all that exposition,
it's
man.
good, eh?
That's dedication.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll catch you guys later.
Alright.